Welcome to 2025, everyone. My name is Mends, and I put together the top 12 best farms for Minecraft Bedrock 1.21. You could use the timestamps in the description to navigate appropriately. Let's begin. This is one of the fastest XP farms that you can build right now for your Minecraft Bedrock 1.21 world. You'll gain up to 30 XP in a single second when maximizing this farm's capabilities. It only takes a few minutes to build and requires very little redstone. Before we begin, these are the materials you will need. If you're curious about the build's dimensions and location, you can build this approximately anywhere, and it's 8x8 blocks and 5 blocks tall. Alright everyone, now that we have all that information out of the way, we can begin with making this awesome Armadillo XP Farm. Now when I say this is pretty powerful, it's very powerful, so if you're on a low-end device, just be careful. You might crash into the abyss. But what we're going to want to do before we begin is find a build location. So I'm going to be building this in this lovely area. If you want the build's dimensions, it's in the description and the beginning of this video. You're going to want about 4 armadillos on standby, so 1, 2, 3, and 4. Go ahead and put them in a cage, put them in a hole, put them somewhere, just not in fire. Keep in mind, you can have as many armadillos as you want. The minimum I would recommend would be 4 armadillos. The more armadillos you add, the more tridents you're going to need, and the more XP that you're going to get. Alright, the first thing we want to do is place a stone brick block, and it has to be a stone brick block. The reason for this is, when you place a stone brick block, you're going to see that it has a line in it. So if I place another one over here, no matter what direction I place these in, there's always a line facing one direction. As you can see, all these lines are facing this direction. That's going to be the east direction, and that's the direction we want to build this farm. So with that being said, we want to build it this way. A little bit to the right of that stone brick, we can place a sand block. It doesn't matter because this is going to get removed later. Just like I said, this is indicating that this is the build direction we're building in. Above that sand block, we want to place a temporary block, so I'll place some dirt and then a composter on top of the dirt and then break the temporary block. Behind the sand, you want to break that block, and we want to get a zombie inside of this hole. All you need to do is have a zombie over here, lure it into the hole, and then you place a block right there. Keep in mind, you will need a trapdoor right there when you're luring the zombie in the hole. I'd also recommend placing blocks just like this to trap the zombie in the hole, so you could just do this, and then once the zombie goes in, trap it in. The next step, and probably the hardest step of this entire build process, is getting the armadillos inside of this composter. We're going to want to place temporary blocks all around the composter. Make sure you make a staircase going up just like this, and the whole idea is we're going to do a minecart system so we can get some rails, and we're essentially going to just put the armadillos inside of the minecart. And you can kind of lure them one at a time using a spider eye. They will follow you if you hold the spider eye in your hand. And if the armadillo is doing this where it's not moving because of the zombie, you can just push it into the minecart just like this, and then push the minecart all the way up until the minecart's literally inside of the composter, and then break the minecart, and there you go. You have yourself an armadillo inside of a composter. So go ahead and break all those rails now. We don't need them anymore. And then you could go ahead and break all the placeholder blocks that we placed. All right, behind the composter right here on top of that block we placed, which is above the zombie, go ahead and place a leaf block, and behind the leaf, go ahead and place a trap door just like this and flick it up. Now everything from here is really simple. Place a block to the left diagonal down of that composter. Take a dispenser and make sure the dispenser is facing into the composter, then break the block below it. Place 2 glass on the right just like this, and place 2 glass on the left. On the right side, place another 2, but do not do it on the left side. On the diagonal glass on the right side, place a block here. Place a lever on top of the block with the comparator in front of it. Right click the comparator to make sure it's an inverted signal. Place 3 redstone dusts just like this, and then you want to place 2 solid blocks, one on top of the leaf and one on top of the composter, leaving a 1 block gap in between. On top of the solid block right here, place 1 more redstone dust. In front of the composter right here, place a temporary block with a fence on top of it and a trap door on top of that fence. Make sure when you place the fence, you are facing this way, away from the composter, so when you flick it up, it flicks up this way. You don't want it flicking up the other direction. Break that grass block or the temporary block that you placed below it. If you did everything correctly, that will create an infinite clock system that looks like this. Alright guys, believe it or not, we are almost done. Here's what the build looks like if we go all the way around it. To the left of that dispenser that we placed, place a block right here and go 2 blocks in front of it. So there's the block, and then we go 1, we go 2, and we place another block over there. That block we placed right here, bring it out by 1 more, just like this. Place a redstone dust on top of it, and take a piston and look this way, and bring the piston so it's facing towards this direction. You want to place another piston on that second block we we placed, but facing towards the piston over here. So you have two pistons facing each other. You could fill this in right here with blocks, and you could place a block of redstone on top of that block, or in other words, to the right of the left piston. You want to place two temporary blocks just like this. Take a hopper, face that hopper into that block over here, and then you could just break these two blocks and take another hopper, and now both hoppers are looking at each other, and that is exactly what we want. Inside of this left hopper right here, we want to put in 3 stacks of 64 blocks. It doesn't matter, and actually it doesn't have to be blocks. It could be dirt, it could be sticks, it could be anything. I would just recommend doing dirt because it's cheap. You could do planks, whatever you want to do. Make sure it's 3 stacks of 64 and then an additional 32. After you put that in there, you are done with that. Place a block on the right side, place a block on the left side, and on both sides go diagonal up by 1, just like this. Take 2 comparators and make sure the comparators are facing into the block, so this way, when you do that, that's going to light up. You want to do the same thing, a comparator going into that block. This comparator is not going to light up right away. It doesn't matter. You could fill this in with blocks if you'd like, or you could leave it empty. Completely up to you. Just like we did over here with the redstone dust, we want to do that over here as well. So place a block there and place redstone dust like that. Once you do that, that's going to extend the piston, pushing the redstone block to the right piston. You are now going to notice that the items inside of these hoppers are rapidly moving. So they're going to the left and they're going back to the right. This is a hopper clock. So every so often, this redstone block is going to move back to the left and then it's going to move back to the right. We want to place a lever right here and flick that down for now. When this lever is flicked down, this whole clock system is turned off, and when this lever is flicked up, the clock system is turned on. So let's keep the clock system off for now. The last thing we want to do is take a water bucket and waterlog the leaf right here, so we could just literally shift and right click on the leaf block. You don't have to worry about the armadillos dying because the water's not going to drown them because they're safely protected in their composter. All right, guys, here's the next most important part. Listen closely. Hey, kids, want to know how to craft infestation potions? Let's do it together. Here we go. It's brewery time. Put in your potions, then blaze up the powder, let it all chime. Now you got awkward potions, add in the nether wart, then wait for it. And now you add in stone, then you add the gunpowder. Now you have infestation, yo. No hesitation, stack them up high, do it a couple times, then grip them tight and let them multiply into a bunch. You want about 9. It's brewery time, it's brewery time. Now you know, oh, now you know. You're going to want to put all your infestation potions inside of the dispenser. I would recommend you have at least 9 if you want to fully AFK on this farm. Keep in mind, every potion of infestation will only last around 3 minutes when you turn the farm on. So if you have 9, that should give you around 30 minutes or so of AFK time. Now, one issue is that dispensers can't hold that many items, so I would recommend you put a hopper here and a chest on top of it with more infestation bottles into the chest, and that will allow you to have a bigger overflow protection system. All right, guys, you have been warned. Once I show you how to turn this farm on, it can get extremely laggy if you are on a lower end device. However, to turn this farm on, all you have to do is place a cactus down just like this. That's going to rapidly hurt the armadillos. Since the zombie is over here to the right, that's going to make the armadillos go inside their shell. And in Minecraft, if you didn't know, armadillos regenerate all of their health when they're inside of their shells. So you might get scared thinking they're all gonna die in there, but they're actually perfectly safe. You then want to take one more trapdoor and place it above this trapdoor and flick it up just like this. And then you want to take 4 tridents going into the trapdoors just like this. Make sure you don't hit the block, you want to hit the trapdoors. All this will be posted in the wiki on my website, but you want to have about 4 to 5 tridents per 4 armadillos. When you flick this lever, they're gonna go up and down just like this, and they're gonna work as a trident killer. So now all you have to do is place a cactus here, flick this lever to the right, and flick this lever to the left. Once you do that, you're gonna notice all the silverfish start spawning. And look at that, guys. Look how much XP I am getting. We can put ourselves in survival, and look at that. Wow. You get so much XP from this farm. It's absolutely insane. To turn the farm off, flick that lever back down and flick the lever to turn the clock machine off, and then break the cactus below. You will notice that the zombie can pick up items, so I recommend you throw like a stick or a wooden sword down. That way it can't pick up your cactus. But that is all the information you need about the Armadillo XP farm. Comment down what you thought about farm number 1. Let's get on to farm number 2. With over 100,000 views spreading across this magnificent series, today I combine everything into one solid iron farm tutorial for you. This farm is massive, generating over 800 iron, hundreds of totems and XP, and an infinite supply of discounted trades every single hour. Let's get into one of my best farms from Minecraft Bedrock 1.21. Before we begin, these are the materials you will need. So when building a massive iron farm, it's important you build it in the right spot. So we'll get into the dimensions for the build in a second, but it doesn't matter where you build this. However, you do need to be at least 150 blocks away from any village. Let's assume that's a village over there. We need to be 150 blocks away from it. And do not build 150 blocks above the village because we're going to be using a lot of the Y level. All right, so here we go. The build's dimensions. This is going to be 22 blocks. So from this corner right here, all the way to this corner right here, that's 22 blocks long. From this corner right here to that corner over there, that's going to be 21 blocks long. So 22 and then 21 blocks. Before we start building, we do want to make sure we have at least 20 villagers. I put a link in the description and also in the pinned comment if you want my villager breeder. You're probably going to need something like this, so however you want to get 20 villagers, up to you. And one thing to point out, you don't want any nitwits, which are the green villagers right here. So these guys, you don't want any of these. So make sure you have 20 villagers that aren't nitwits. And if you use my villager breeder, you can set it up on a rail system like this. So you just simply push that button and then it automatically pushes itself. Pretty cool. Once you've collected your 20 villagers and you've stored them somewhere, just have them nearby the farm, or you could have them somewhere else. Just make sure you know where they are, and we can go ahead and start beginning. Alright guys, so hopefully you have the build's dimensions. We're going to simply go into the first corner here. So this is the front of the build. That's 22 blocks long right here. We're going to put a block here. We're going to go up by 6. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. We're going to go over to the right by 22 blocks. So that's 1, that's 2, 3, 21, and that's 22. So now we got 2 pillars just like this. That's 22 blocks across. Including the block right here, we're going to go 21 blocks. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We'll simply just bring this up. And now we could just match this to the other side. What we want to do now is fill in the left, the right, and the back portion of the build with blocks. So we're going to just fill this whole thing in with blocks, and we're going to fill that whole thing in with blocks. Same with that side. All right, once you fill all those in, you want to just simply fill this in, but we want to find the middle. Half of 22 is 11, so we just simply want to take these 2 chunks out right here, and then that's going to be our middle. We can then just raise these up, just like this, and we could fill all that in. So now it looks just like this. This only needs to be 2 blocks high, so we'll just fill all this in just like this. Alright, you can now put a door here if you'd like. For the tutorial, I'm going to leave it empty. Inside this entire room over here, we just want to fill this in with the shovel. Alright, so now that we right-clicked all the grass to make it farmland, we simply want to mob-proof the outside so iron golems can't spawn. Quickly go into your settings real quick and check your simulation distance. You'll be able to see it right here. My simulation distance is 4 chunks. By default, this is what it is. If you didn't touch it, you don't have to worry about this. If you increased your simulation distance, then this is going to change, okay? We want to come out by 8 blocks, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. We want to do that in all directions, so that's coming out by 8, and that's coming out by 8. And we want to just fill all this in just like this. All right, guys, so once your farmland's complete, it's just going to look like this. So one more time, 8 blocks, 8 blocks, 8 blocks, 8 blocks. All right, guys, we can start working on the roof and the water portion for this farm. But before we do that, please make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Helps out the channel a lot, and we're almost at 20,000 subscribers. And these videos take a long time to make. Thank you. All right, so if we come over here where that little 2x2 area is, all we have to do is go down by 1.5 blocks. So that's 1, and that's a half, and then just place a slab just like this. If you place a block above that slab, you'll see that that's how much room you have. So you shouldn't be able to put 2 full blocks above the slab. You want to bring this out by 7, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, and then we could just make it 2 wide, just like this. Once you have 7 blocks coming from each corner, you can just connect them like this. Alright, once you connect all these, all you have to do is fill this whole thing in with slabs. Alright, so once you fill this whole area in with slabs, you leave out the middle. This is how it's going to look. You then want to go ahead and take your solid blocks and trace the outer edge of those slabs, just like this. Once that's completed, you should have 3 blocks going this way. And if we count this one, that would be 1, 2, 3, 4 blocks going this way. Go ahead and break any blocks that are in the middle and leave this empty for now. Go to any corner and repeat this for all the sides. We're simply going to go to the corner and place a temporary block here. You could also place it here, it doesn't matter. So we'll pick this side, place a water bucket on the side of that block or on the edge of the block, and break the block and leave it like this. You're going to do that for every side. So once you put the water on all 4 corners, you should get an odd looking shape. All we have to do now is place 2 water buckets on this side, so just like this. Don't place them here, place them on the top part. So we'll place 1 there and we'll place 2 there. Do the same thing on this side, and we'll do the same thing on this side. We'll place water on the top, and then once we do all of that, this is the shape we should get. All we have to do now is go to each edge, so we see that going downhill. We just want to go from this edge to that side, and you're just going to spam your water all the way across just like this, and we'll do that on all sides. If you guys did it wrong or you made a mistake, you can go back and fix this. It's not a big deal. All right, guys, once your water's done, go ahead and go into the entrance of your build, and we're going to go fairly quickly here. We're going to bring this down for 4 blocks, so 1, 2, 3, 4, and that's going from the corners on all sides. Once you do all 4 like that, just go ahead and place your blocks over here and place your blocks over here, 4 more over there, just like this. Put 6 glass blocks on each side, just like this. And lastly, we'll do the same thing over here. You could also fill this in with glass, or you can fill it in with blocks if you want to preserve your glass. That's how everything should look if you did it correctly. Place 2 chests just like this, and behind those chests, fill this whole thing in with hoppers. So we're going to place 2 right there. We'll place a hopper here. We'll place a hopper here, and we'll just fill this whole row in with hoppers. And we want to make sure all these hoppers are going into the chest. So just like that, all those hoppers are going into the double chest. To the left and to the right of the chest, we can place a block. Place 2 more glass right here. Above the glass over here, place a block, and we'll place a block over here and just connect that all the way across. Before we fill this in with glass, go to the left of your chest inside this container over here and place 3 signs just like this. So 1 and 3. You're going to need a shift while doing this, but all you have to do is shift and place a sign just like this, and we'll place a sign there. So just like this, we'll place the signs, and we'll place signs just like this. You should have 4 rows of signs. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. You then want to go to the top of your build, so I recommend placing ladders right here for the meantime, so you could just go up and down throughout this building process. And when we're up here, we want to make sure we don't fall in. We want to just place a temporary block right here, or you can place it here. So I'm going to place it right here and make sure you're shifting. And just like this, our lava is going to flow, and it should go all the way to the edges, just like that. All you have to do now is place campfires on top of all these hoppers. I recommend using soul campfires instead of normal campfires, because soul campfires are going to do more damage to the iron golem, and the faster we get rid of the iron golems is the faster we can spawn new ones. All you have to do now is just fill this in with glass, and then you're done with the middle chamber. All right, so now we can go behind these campfires over here. So you want to line yourself up with the pillar and go 1 block to the left of it, just like this, and break these 2. And we'll do that on the other side as well, and break these 2, and then just break all of these. Fill this whole thing in with bed. So now we got 8 beds going all the way across. We can go ahead and look this way now, break another 2 blocks going from the left to the right, and place our beds just like this. So now we have a total of 16 beds. However, we're going to need 20. So what we do is we just break these 2 blocks and these 2 blocks, same thing over here, and just fill these in with more beds, and then that will bring you to 20 beds in total. So here's how everything should look. Now that our beds are done, we can work on the chambers. To do your chambers, it's pretty simple. Just place a block right there, and then just do this pattern all the way across. So just to show you, we're going to do this all the way across just like this. If you did that pattern correctly, you should have a total of 20 chambers. So you have 10 on this side, and you have 10 on this side. All right, guys, in order to keep this video concise, I did link a villager linking pod in the description. It's also in the pinned comment. So go ahead and click the link in the description. Watch real quick how to link all your villagers into each pod, and then come back to this video. It'll only take you like 4 to 5 minutes. It's not that hard. So go ahead and just do that, and then come back to this video. Once you link all your villagers, you want to wait until it's nighttime, and then we want to simply go in the bed, and we just want to sleep. It's important we make sure the villagers are working a full Minecraft day cycle. Otherwise, we're not going to get our iron golems. At this point in our build, our farm is now complete. To get iron golems to spawn, we want to make sure our game rule do mob spawning is actually enabled. You will notice a spontaneous cat obsession with your build. If you want to stop cats from spawning completely, all you have to do is tame 5 of them. So we're going to go 1, there's 2, there's 3, there's 4, there's 5, and all we have to do is just tame all these cats and then sit them down wherever we want. Once we have all our cats parked and sitting down, they will never spawn again inside your farm. If you want to get string in the farm, then simply do not do this. Alright guys, so now the iron portion of this farm is complete. If you're wondering about the trade hall, this is already built into your farm. So depending on the workstations you picked, you could put a composter here, a lectern here, a fletching table here, etc. all the way across, and you could have up to 20 different villagers to trade with. As you can see, we're already getting an iron golem in the farm. All your iron and all your poppies are going to go into this double chest over here. You might need to expand this going downward. If you're getting too much iron or too many poppies, you can create an overflow protection system. If you're wondering how to get the villager discounts, such as the Hero of the Village farm, then keep watching this video or use the timestamps to find the Hero of the Village farm. Let's get on to farm number 3. Let's build an easy beginner wither skeleton farm for Minecraft Bedrock 1.21. This farm can produce up to 50 skulls in just an hour. Before we get started, these are the materials you will need. Alright everyone, the first thing you want to do is find yourself a nether fortress. We have one right here. You can find these anywhere in the nether. They spawn in all biomes. If you use an elytra, you just walk around for a long enough time, you'll eventually find one. When you do find your fortress, you want to make sure that it's clear of any obstructions. Sometimes these will spawn in the lava or the roof, or they'll spawn in a mountain. You want to make sure yours is similar to mine. All the pathways are clear. You can access all of them. And one last thing you want to double check is that when you're walking on these pathways, you want to make sure there's enough height above you. Now, it doesn't have to be this high. This is incredibly high, but it should be at least 25 to 30 blocks high. high. If your ceiling is really low, it's just going to make the AFK situation a little bit annoying, as you won't be able to see down below. With all that being said, what you want to do is find yourself a crossing pathway just like this. As you can see, there's 4 directions possible that this pathway can go. You want to find one that's adjacent to another one. So as you can see, we have one right here and we have one over here. If you don't have any that are this close together, that's completely fine. We'll just start right here, but ideally you want them to be this close to each other. You don't want them to be like one over here and then the other one way over here. That's way too far and mobs won't spawn properly. But like I said, if you only have one and everything else is like over there, then that's fine. For now, we'll just work with this. If your paths don't look like this at all and these like are your only options, you could use this as your first path and you could use that one as your second path. You could also use this as your first path and that is your second path. We're really just trying to find where these wither skeletons spawn. So if some are spawning over here and some are spawning over there, then that would work. Just make sure that they're not too far apart. This to here, that would be good distance. With all that being said, let's begin. All right, so go ahead and go into the center of your pathway. So if you see right here, that is the center of this pathway. If you don't have a proper center, that's completely fine. Just find it like an average of the center, okay? So go ahead and place a block there. That's going to be a temporary block. Go ahead and take your trap door, place one just right here. And you're going to do that going all the way around this center block right here. So you have trapdoors on those sides and you have trapdoors on these sides. You can then go ahead and place a slab, or actually go ahead and place a block right here and then place a slab above that block and then break the temporary blocks just like this and then keep those trapdoors there. Now, since this is really close to the corners right here, we can break these 3 blocks. So 1, 2, 3. We could do that going all the way around. And then after we broke those all the way around, we could just connect these like that, just expanding this. That way we have more space. Then you could just fill those in. So now everything should look just like this. All we did was remove those 3 blocks and then we just brought them out and then we filled everything in. So now go ahead and get your walls and we're going to place it going around this build, but you want to find a front. So what I mean by that is find where your wither skeletons are spawning. So mine are spawning over there. Some are spawning over there. And in my case, some are even spawning over there. I'm going to go ahead and have my opening facing that way. It doesn't matter how yours is facing, but it would be better if it's facing the direction they're spawning. So since I want this to be the front of my build, since most are spawning over there, I'm going to go ahead and place my walls just like this. So one starting there and then just going around like so. I'm going to bring it over here and then I'll bring it over here just like that. And I'll bring this one out by 1. So this is how everything should look. You have one shorter on this side and then one coming out longer on that side. And then what you want to do from here is break 4 blocks. So 1 block here, 1 block here, and 1 block here, and then the last one there. Go ahead and take your trapdoors, place 2 on this side, flick them down. Same thing on this side, place 2 trapdoors and flick them down. Go ahead and break these blocks. Just be careful because in my case, as you can see, there's lava down there. Go ahead and bring this down 1 more block in total for 3. So we have 1, 2, and then 3. In survival, you're going to probably need to do some scaffolding or some layers down here. That way you don't fall. So now you can see we have our trapdoors right here, and then it's going down 1, 2, and 3 blocks. And then what we can do is we can just fill this in just like so. That way we're able to stand on the bottom. So now we have a 2x2 area and it's 3 blocks deep, and then we have our trapdoors on both sides. So go in your chamber just like this, and on that 3rd block down, and to show you this is the front of our build, go to the 3rd block down. So 1, 2, and 3. Break that block right here. Go ahead and place a piston facing towards you. Do the same thing on this block. Place the piston facing towards you. Same thing right here. Place the piston facing towards you, and then one more time, the piston facing towards you. Go ahead and take your observers and then place the observer going into the piston. You could break the top layers right here. That way you're able to see the piston. So that observer should be going into that piston. One more time, take that observer into that piston, and then you can break the top just so you're able to see it. And we're going to just do this going all the way around. And if you don't have any blocks on the corners, you're going to need to place them there. That way you can get your observer facing towards the piston. And then what we want to do now is grab our redstone torches, and we want to place the redstone torches alongside these pistons. So the easiest way to do that will be breaking this block and going down 1 more, and then building a platform around. So we could just go ahead and take the redstone torch, place it on that piston. We'll do the same thing on this one. So we'll break that block, place a redstone torch on that piston. Do the same thing on this one, redstone torch over there, and then 1 more, we'll just take that redstone torch and place it here. And once you place that final redstone torch, you're going to hear the pistons moving around. It's going to be really loud. You can go ahead and just place a lever anywhere, flick it down, and then the Trident killer will turn off. And then once that lever's flicked down, what we can do is just build a little platform down here. This is going to be easier so we can collect the XP later on, and we'll just connect this all the way around our Trident killer. So as you can see, I created a nice platform. That way we're able to get around what we just built. And then I could just place walls just like this. That way no mobs get in. We'll just finish that up, and then just like that. So now we have a platform that we can get all the way around this Trident killer, and then we have walls around it. You don't have to do the walls, and you don't have to do this platform, but this is just going to make it easier to turn this on and off, and it also makes it so mobs can attack you. And then you could build like a staircase outside. That way you can get up and down. Since we're in creative, I can just fly out. And then if you want to put the roof a little bit higher, that way you don't feel claustrophobic in here, you can. Just whatever you break, you got to probably replace on the walls. So like right over here, we have to fill that in. And as you can see, we have more openings over here, so I'll just fill that in. And I think all in all, it just looks better when you have it 3 blocks wide, because just look how small that is when you have 2 blocks. All right, and then to the left of the lever right here, if we go diagonal up 1, we're going to break this block and place a slab up here. and then we could just place a block right here, okay? So we have a slab there and then a block there. You could place the block here, it doesn't matter, but this is going to allow us to get our XP, so when there's XP in the container, we could just go right here and we'll be able to get it. All right, what we want to do now is break these 4 blocks right here, and we're going to try to get under this Trident killer, and then break these 4 blocks under it, so 1, 2, 3, 4, so that way when you go to the top, you can see that there's no blocks down there. So all we did was break these 4 blocks that were already here, okay? So we can come back down, and then once we're down here, those 4 blocks that we broke, so we broke these 4 blocks, under those you want to break another 4 blocks, so 1, 2, 3, 4. For some there might be blocks here, for others there might not. And then what you want to do is place 2 chests just like this facing towards you. Now you see why we went down 1, that way we could collect the chest, and then we could just do the same thing on the other side. So if we come over here, we're going to want to make this go down 1 more layer, so we could just get under here, bring that down 1, and then fill that in, and then that way when we go in here it goes down 1, and then break these 2 blocks, and then place 2 more chests right here. And then we have 2 chests going on each side, and then this just makes it so we can pick up the items. And then on top of these chests, just place your hoppers. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we can just clean this up, fill this in, place some blocks right here. And now when we walk around this build, we're just able to come down here, get all the items that are in the chest. Just a nice little system. And if this is bothering you, you can place blocks here or here, doesn't matter. Okay, now let's go back to the top, and everything should look just like that. So all we did was we broke those 4 blocks, replaced them with hoppers, and below them we put chests. Go ahead and throw your trident onto any of these pistons, or actually anywhere for the matter of fact. So I'm gonna go ahead and throw my trident there. If you want better rates, you can go ahead and enchant this with impaling. So I have my impaling enchant on there, or you can just throw multiple tridents in there, up to 3. So we can go 1, 2. You can even put a 3rd one in there if you'd want. For this tutorial, I'll just put 2 impaling tridents in there. All right, the next part, we want to put a piglin brute in here. This can be a little bit challenging, but the easiest way to do this is to get a bow, get a piglin brute, put the piglin brute inside of the bow. We could just nudge it in like that. However you want to get it in is up to you, but what you can do is take a lead to the bow, and we can make a little platform like this, and then put some ladders there, and then we could bring the piglin brute over here just like this. So if we're in survival, we'll just bring it all the way up. You might have to go a little bit higher. Then once you bring it all the way up the ladders, it will just be right here. You can go ahead and unlead it then, and then you'll have your boat just like this. You can place 4 temporary slabs here, so 1, 2, 3, and 4. Go ahead and break that top slab for a second, and then we can go ahead and get in the boat. And what we want to do is just back it up really slowly, and then we get the piglin brute all the way off the edge just like this, but half of the boat is still on. And then once the boat is hanging off the edge like that, we could just surround it over here, and this is just going to ensure we don't like miss it. And then you want to be very careful, but you're going to break the boat and essentially push it in. Just be careful, because as soon as you break the boat, this thing is going to start squealing and going all over the place. You want to break the boat and then push it right in. Just like that, then the piglin brute goes in. This might take you a couple tries, and truly is one of the most frustrating part about this farm, but once this is done, it is done. Then you could go ahead and just break all those blocks you placed. Don't forget to put the slab back on. What you could do is place a slab there, and then place 1 there. Go ahead and break those, and then once you break those, everything is back to normal, and you have your piglin brute inside. All right, now that that is complete, remember what we talked about earlier about wither spawns. So by just having 1 here, we're not really maximizing our wither spawn profit. So if we were to put another one over here in the middle, it would capitalize on all the wither spawns that are over there and all the wither spawns that are over there. So what we want to do is basically do the same thing that we did here, but over there. If you guys don't want to expand this to the dual system, you don't have to, but I would highly recommend it, as just 1 system doesn't make this farm quite worth it. And if you copied your chamber over there, you could just build a tunnel underneath, and then we could just tunnel it right here. And once you make a tunnel over there, you could just connect the platform, and then just like that, you have your tunnels connected. If you want to add some extra aesthetic, you could put some tinted glass right here. Just looks cooler. All right, so now we have a tunnel system going under. We have both chambers right there. And once you have both chambers set up, your farm is complete, but there is one common misconception with this farm. Logically, you would turn on both Trident killers and then AFK down there. But if we look at the spawning grid right here, we will be able to see that that is indeed not correct. Everything inside of the blue is where mobs will not spawn around the player, and everything inside of the red is where mobs will spawn. And we can take advantage of this by placing a block here just above the sphere. This block is only 25 blocks up, so from here to that block, that would be 25 blocks. Play it safe. I recommend going up to 28 to 30. So 25, 26, 27, and 28. This will just ensure that you're actually outside of that radius. And when we AFK up here, everything down there will now do its thing. So if we were to AFK on this block, that would give us the best rates possible, which is why I don't understand why I see so many other channels recommending that you just AFK down below. It beats me. Up here, you could just expand this for a 3x3 platform, and then you have a little platform. If you want to be able to get up and down from up here, you can make a little ladder system. Just be careful though, so if you start placing blocks like this, sometimes they'll start spawning up here, and that will become a problem. So now all we have to do is just flick both of these levers up on both sides, And once both levers are flicked up, both of the Trident killers will be activated. As you can see, that one too. Then we just want to come over up here to a 3x3 platform, stand directly on the center block, and then you will start noticing that the withers do spawn, and then they go right into those Trident killers. And this is what I was talking about earlier. Notice how the withers are spawning up there. To stop the withers from getting stuck down here and ruining your rates, what you want to do is just tear this whole thing down. So just like that, we removed all of that, and now the withers are no longer going to spawn here. I recommend just going around and double checking where everything is spawning. For example, if withers were spawning up here, you could just tear down this whole thing. Going back to what I said earlier on expanding this farm, notice how there's withers spawning over here. You could actually take another one of these machines, put them over here. You could take that machine, put it over there, for a total of 4. 4 of these machines in total will give you a lot more loot. If you want to double your loot, all you have to do is hold a looting 3, 2, or looting 1 sword up here, and the tridents will automatically be affected by it. And since you threw these tridents, they're actually still applied to you, so you could get the XP down here. And we could just go around our build right here to collect all that XP. Just be careful going on this block, because sometimes you'll collect a trident on accident. If you do want to expand to the 4 system, understand that you're not able to go much farther past this point. If you were to expand the farm all the way out there, it would become useless, and you wouldn't be able to get any return from it. And to give you an idea of your radius from this block to that red border is 27 blocks. So I think it would be safe to say not to go 25 blocks away from the middle of this area.
That's everything you need to know for this wither skeleton farm. If you're a fan of it, let me know in the comment section. Let's get on to farm number 4. Today, we'll be building a loot-based item sorter that can sort up to 27 different items at its maximum capacity. This farm has an overflow protection system with an automatic junk compiler for items that cannot be defined. Your storage system will be practically infinite with the potential to store up to 3,500 items per item sorter. You also won't have to stack anything up to 41 because this system uses a hybrid sorter. Join me today as we build this awesome item sorter for Minecraft Bedrock 1.21. These are the materials you will need. When I teach you how to build this, your build's gonna look something like that. I'm gonna just be teaching you how to build the machine. If you want to decorate it and make it look pretty, that'll be completely up to you, and the materials are on your part. Alrighty guys, so the first thing we could do is break 2 blocks just like this. We could take 2 droppers. We're gonna point them up towards the sky. Behind the droppers, we'll place 2 blocks just like this. We're gonna go up by 11, so that's 1, 9, 10, and 11. Wait guys, this is Minor Mends from the future. I made a huge mistake. You wanna make these 12, not 11. So from the bottom to the top, you wanna make them 12. If you only do 11, look what happens. You get a double chest and it doesn't go to the bottom of the floor. So if you want it to go to the bottom like this, make it 12. We'll do the same thing on the right. We'll just match it up with the left. Directly in front of it, we want to fill this whole thing in with glass, but we don't want to go all the way up to the top, just right here. Fill this whole thing in with glass. You could also fill this in with solid blocks, but then you're not going to be able to see the item going from the bottom to the top. We'll do this by another layer, but we won't place anything here. We're going to place it here, and we're going to go up to the top, just like this. So now you have 4 glass blocks at the top. Go ahead and place 2 right here, and directly on top of the glass, go ahead and place your blue ice or place your packed ice. I would not recommend you use normal ice. Make sure it's blue ice or packed ice. Blue ice will be the best option. All right, we can now go to the left right here, and we can fill this all the way in with solid blocks, just like that, but don't go all the way up to the top. Leave that one empty. Do the same thing on the right, but leave that one empty, and then you could place 1 blue ice there and a blue ice there. The reason we left this empty is because right here, we're gonna break those, and we're gonna place 2 hoppers, 1 going into each dropper. So that hopper goes that way, and that hopper goes that way. Directly above the hoppers, place a double chest, just like this. You should be able to open it despite there being glass there. Directly to the left of that chest, go ahead and break 3 blocks right here. So 1, 2, 3. Look to the right and break 2 more, and 2 more below it. You should now have 1, 2, 3 blocks just like this. Directly under those droppers, break 2 blocks just like this, and then another 2 blocks below them. So now you have a total of 4 blocks broken right here. Since I'm in super flat, I do need to break this block, but we want to take an observer and we want to point 1 down and we want to point 1 up. You might have to use ladders to do this, but all you have to do is shift and point 1 up towards the dropper and 1 down away from the dropper. You're going to hear both droppers rapidly tick. We can now seal this hole back up, or we could just do ladders and a trapdoor. You could go ahead and test to make sure everything's working by putting a stack of blocks inside of that chest, and then you're going to see both on the left and both on the right, the blocks are going from the bottom to the top. So coming from this ice block right here, and just to show you, we're on the left. Coming from this ice block, we're going to place 13 in front for a total of 14. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 13, and that's 14. We can then go back over here. From the ice right here, we want to go 5 to the right. So if we include this, that would be 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So from that block right here to that block, that's 9 blocks across. And from this block to that block, that's 14 blocks across. All you have to do now is just copy the same thing you did on this side. So bring it all the way out just like this, and then bring this across just like this. And then it should kind of look like a picture frame or a rectangle, depending how you look at it. All right, so if we come over here, just right here, we're going to place 2 honey blocks. So place a temporary block right here and place a honey block on top of it and break the temporary. So 2 honey blocks right there. We'll do the same thing on the right side. So 2 honey blocks right here. If If we go over here to this corner right here, we want to place a honey block there. We're going to do the same thing on the right side. We're going to place a honey block there. Those are all the honey blocks that you should have. From this honey block to that one over there, go ahead and connect it with slabs just like this, all the way across, just like that. Do the same thing on this side to the other, just like this. But on that side over there, we'll go ahead and fill that in with solid blocks. So place a block here and then just drag this all the way across to that side. The next thing we could do is just bring this up. We'll bring that side up and we'll connect this all the way across. And like I said, you can fill in the corners or you can leave them empty, and then we'll just place a block there, and that's how it should look. You actually don't need any blocks on the corners, so I'll go ahead and break those as we just don't need them. So that's how everything should look so far. And then make sure you just wrap this inner layer all the way around. So we're essentially just sealing this off. So just bring this all the way around, just like that. All right, so if we're looking at the two glass right here, so if we're looking right here, just to show you, those are the two glass. We're looking right at these two, right? We're gonna place a button right there. From this block right here, we're gonna count 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, and 7, just like that. From that left corner, go ahead and place a button right there. So not directly in the corner, 1 block away from it. Your 4th button's gonna go right here. So instead of that corner, just like we did over there, directly to the left of it, right there. And our final button's gonna go over here. The easiest way to find it is just go right here where that button is, go all the way the same side and go over 1, just like that. The left of our first button, go ahead and place a water bucket directly on top of the ice. So don't place it here, don't place it here, directly on top of the ice. So just like this, that's gonna then flow all the way to this button. We can place another water bucket right here in front of that button. So don't place it on the button, right in front of it on the ice. Now on the honey block right here, not on the ice, on the honey block, place your water bucket just like this, which will go all the way over here. On the wall right here, go ahead and place your water just like this. Then it's gonna go all the way over here. And lastly, one more time, place a water bucket on the ice just like this. You should be able to drop an item or a couple items, and they should be able to go in a complete 360-degree circuit, and it should come all the way back. It's very important we use the honey blocks because the honey blocks are the reason that the block is going to hug the corners. I would also recommend right now that you drain all your water and you place it back later. The reason I don't want you to fill it right now is because if you accidentally break a block, all your redstone's gonna break, so I don't want that to happen for you. All right, and believe it or not, we are just about done. So we're gonna go over here to the left side. If you enjoy my content and want to support the channel, then consider becoming a member today. Members get access to exclusive maps, world downloads, and more. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Let's jump back into the video. On the side of the ice right here, we're gonna place a temporary block and then another temporary block and then break that one. And we'll extend this all the way across just like this. And now what this allows me to do is just take these hoppers, put them into all those blocks so we can face them that way, okay? And then I can just break these blocks, and now all those hoppers are facing this way. Now we want hoppers below these hoppers, but we want them facing that way. So just place another row of temporary blocks like this, and take your hoppers going into those hoppers. So basically this is a hybrid system, so we place 1 block just in front of that hopper, and then over here we place 1 below. And we're gonna just keep doing that all the way across. So for sorter A, we're gonna go ahead and bring this down by 1. So we'll place a temporary block there, and then we'll bring it down, and then we'll bring this out by another 1. We want to do the same thing again, so we'll go out 1 more, just like this. You now just basically wrap this around, and then you place a block there. So that's how that should look. And then directly next to the block right here, we place a block there. So skipping from this block, we take a comparator, we place it there. We take redstone dust, we place it there. We take redstone dust, we place it on that one. And then we just take a repeater going into that block. And then lastly, we take a redstone torch and we put it right there. Now for sorter B, we have to do it a little bit differently, because if we place redstone here and then we place a comparator there, as you can see, they're connecting and that can cause problems. So what we'll do, since that one's 1 block lower, we'll bring this up and we'll bring it out by 3, just like this, out by 3. We're gonna kind of do the same concept. It's gonna come down diagonal, then it's gonna come in diagonal, just like we did over there, but this is gonna come down by 3. So 1, 2, 3, and then just bring it back up. So 1, 2, 3, and place 2 blocks here, 1, 2, and it's basically opposite. So instead of a repeater right here, it's going to be redstone dust. Like I said, it's opposite. So instead of a redstone dust, it's going to be a repeater. Make sure it's going that way. Place a redstone dust here, and a redstone dust here. Now you're going to place a comparator here, and you'll place a comparator there. All right, so that's it. That's sorter B, and that's sorter A. And I accidentally did flick that on, so I'm gonna right click it to turn it off. And don't forget the redstone torches all the way across. So if you wanna make this easier, all you have to do is just line this all the way across, and then you could just start like this. Take all your redstone torches, take all those blocks, do this. It'd just be a lot faster. So just make sure you do sorter A, sorter B, sorter A, B, A, B, A, B, A, B, back to A. So that's how everything should look when it's complete. These are all of our item sorters. They're all done. So A, B, all the way back to A. And you're literally just doing this on the same exact side. So nothing changes over here. So I don't want to see someone comment, be like, oh, you didn't show us how to do it on both sides. I mean, it's literally the same thing. All right, and now it's time to set each hopper to configure them to the item that you want to sort. So the way we do that is we grab an anvil and we rename a block to whatever we want. I'm going to call it blocker 00. You want to name it an item that won't interfere with any other item. You then want to go to sorter A and you just want to spread them across like this. And in that last slot, put 18. And that first slot is just the item you want to sort. So I want to sort diamonds. So I put 18 right here and everything else is a single block. For sorter B, I'll do the same exact thing, but I'm going to put 2 emeralds because that's the item I want to sort instead of 1. All my blockers right here. And then instead of 18, I'm going to do 16. So 18 in a single item, 16 and 2 items. So now do that for all the other sorters. Pick what you want. You can do lapis, redstone, coal, copper. You do whatever you want. If you're doing like snowballs, which is stacks of 16, you're going to do the same thing. Nothing changes. Put the whole stack of snowballs in and it'll sort itself out automatically. All right, guys. And the final thing we have to do is a storage system. Directly in front of that hopper right there, just place a chest and then make it a double chest. And then you're going to just repeat this process going all the way down, just like this. And once you do this all the way to the bottom, your chest will be right here, and then you can just put 2 blocks under it like so. You can then do this for all of them. We'll just do a row of blocks all the way across, and you're gonna do chest all the way across, and you're gonna just repeat this for literally every single item sorter. And then into the diamond auto sorter, if I put my diamonds in there, my diamonds will appear in the chest. And then once you complete everything, you'll have your auto sorters on the left, you'll have your auto sorters on the right, and then you could simply come into the chest right here, place your diamonds in there, place some redstone, whatever the items you wanted to sort. They'll go up to the top, then they'll flow, and they'll go into their designated hoppers. Then I could just simply go into my farm and I could check where they went. And there's my redstone. It went in there, 2 redstone dust. The final thing we have to do is the junk pile. So come over here, and right here is where our junk pile is going to be. So we can go ahead and put a slab right here, and below we'll go ahead and put a hopper. And just for the sake of this tutorial, you obviously would want to bring it all the way down. We'll just put a chest below it like that. So now if we just put a random item that's not going to get sorted and we throw it, and we'll watch it go into the junk pile just like that. So if you want all your junk to go into like a random chest, that's how you would do it. You would obviously bring that all the way down, and then you could put your chest right here. That would be your input, and that's your junk output.
That is everything you need to know for my item sorter. Let's check out farm number 5. This is a tri-dispenser system that can produce up to 11 stacks of wool in 10 seconds. It works by utilizing your simulation distance alongside chunks, which simulate infinite dispensers simultaneously. Before we begin, these are the materials you will need.
All right, you awesome lads, let's go ahead and get started. Before we start placing anything down, I need to show you what's in front of me. I know it looks like the Minecraft Square Olympics, but these are actually just chunks. In Minecraft, a chunk is 16 by 16, which means if we have 5 of these, that's going to be 80 blocks. So you need an area that's at least 80 blocks long and 16 blocks wide. Outside of those dimensions, you also need to make sure you're in a chunk and that they're outlined exactly like this. I know you're probably like, uh-oh, I don't know how to do that. So don't worry, I'm going to show you how. There used to be an awesome texture pack, but now that is on the marketplace and it costs money. I'm going to show you an alternative. We're going to go ahead and go to my Discord server. And if you go to the P84 commands channel, you're probably going to be in this one. You're going to go all the way down to P84 commands. You're going to see this awesome thing called Chunkbot. And you're probably wondering, what the heck is Chunkbot? That sounds like a DLC. Chunkbot's basically an awesome Discord bot that allows you to locate your entire chunk. You don't got to download anything. You don't have to actually do anything. All you do is you stand somewhere in your world, you copy your coordinates down, so 32740, and then we go to Discord, we run this command called /chunk, we put those coordinates in, so 327 and 40, we press enter, and then the bot gives us a bunch of information. I know this looks complicated, but there's only one thing that we need to pay attention to, and that's our chunk corners. All you need to do is copy the first chunk corner, so that's 320 and that's 32. I'm gonna teleport there, so 320 and 32. As you can see, that's my first corner. I would then go back to Discord and copy the second one, so 335 and 32. 335 and 32, that is my second one. And then lastly, all you need to do is do your third chunk corner, so 320, 47, just like this. Once you get at least 3 of them, you can just connect the dots and finish the last one. Now, you don't have to use Chunkbot 5 different times. You only have to use it once. And the reason for that is, well, chunks are 16 by 16. So this is our first chunk right here, 16 by 16. I can simply just count next to it. So that's 1, not including this one, 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16. I can then just complete that again for 16 by 16, and I can do that 5 times. So you only need to enter your coordinates 1 time, and then you can basically count the rest. So I would definitely go ahead and take advantage of ChunkBot, and you could also say thank you, Miner Mends, for actually creating something for your fans. But seriously, it's awesome. Once you have all 5 mapped out, please come back to this video. You want to map it out just like this. You do not have to separate the colors, however, it would make it a little bit easier for you when you're building. Once you mapped out all 5 chunks, we want to go to the first chunk corner, which is going to be on the left right here, and we want to count over by 5. So that's 1, that's 2, that's 3, that's 4, and that's 5. Place a lever on the 5th block, and then we want a 3-block gap in between our levers. So that's 1 lever, 3-block gap. That's another lever, another 3-block gap, and then that's our final lever. It's going to be a little bit uneven. You'll have the 4 blocks on the left, and you'll have the 3 blocks on the right. You can go ahead and ignore that for now, and keep in mind at the end of this build, you can remove all these borders. Now we just have to do a stream of redstone, but it has to be in a specific way. I already have those 2 done, but all 3 are going to be exactly the same. So when I show you how to do it over here, just go ahead and copy it to those sides. In front of the lever, we're just going to take a stream of redstone, and it's going to go all the way to the edge of the first chunk. We're then going to place a repeater, which is still inside of the first chunk. We are now going into the second chunk, where we're going to put a redstone dust and trail that all the way again to the edge of the second chunk. We'll place a repeater again. Crossing into the third chunk, we'll do another stream of redstone all the way to the edge, and still in the third chunk, we'll place a repeater, but this time in the 4th chunk, we're going to place a comparator. We're going to right click the comparator, and we're going to take redstone dust, and we're going to loop it around just like this. All we have to do now is just take all of the stream of redstone to the end of the 4th chunk and place a dispenser in this direction. None of your redstone should be crossing into the 5th chunk. It should only be going to the 4th. So make sure you do exactly what I just showed you for all 3 levers, and I'm going to show you what it looks like. That way you can get an aerial perspective. You should have 2 rows where the repeaters are by themselves, and then the last row should be with a comparator. This is how everything should look. In front of all those dispensers, we just want to take a row of grass just like this, and this is going to be inside of the 5th chunk. We're going to go pretty quickly here because this is really easy. Go ahead and mine out both of these rows. We can just remove them completely, and let's mine it out to 3 blocks deep. All right, so in the 5th chunk, right in front of the grass, you have 1, 2, 3 blocks deep. Keep in mind, we're going to be doing more mining. Place a block right here with the glass block going all the way to the other side, and then another block right here. You want to make sure your glass is 2 blocks tall, and then the block right here, we can make it 2 blocks tall as well, and 2 blocks tall. Do this for each dispenser. Place a block to the left and the right, and 1 on top, and then fill this in. Place a block right here on the left, and a block right here on the right. Place a slab here, and a slab here. Place 2 more slabs on the top, and before you place a second slab right here, you want to make sure that you have your sheep inside of the pod. And you're probably going to want to make a staircase system right here, and you could just take rails and push the sheep inside. Once all your pods are complete, this is exactly how they should look. If we're on the back side now, you want to go ahead and place a stream of blocks all the way across. Like I said, it's going to be uneven. You're going to have 3 blocks on the left, and you're going to have 2 blocks on the right. On top of all of the glass and from the corner right here, just take all of your slabs and run them across to the other side. Place 2 more slabs and 2 more blocks just like this. Same thing on the right side, 2 more slabs and 2 more blocks. And don't forget all of these blocks over here. All right, so now your sheep are pretty much stuck in there. You don't need a slab right here. You can just leave that empty. All right, now what we can do is we can mine out 1 more row for 3 blocks deep, but we're just going to mine this whole thing out. Once you mined all of that out, mine the 2 blocks that are below the grass. So mine all this. We don't need it. Once you have all the blocks below mined out, you want to go ahead and place temporary blocks right here. And then we want to break some blocks so we can get to this side. And we want to send hoppers into all these temporary blocks that we place. So you're going to need to break a bunch of blocks. You'll probably need to mine all of this out. Place all of your hoppers into the blocks over here. And after you do the hoppers, we can then just fill this back in. On top of the hoppers, you should have 2 powered rails. You can break a block behind the hoppers and place a redstone torch. You want to have 2 powered rails on the left and on the right. So this is how it should look. Go ahead and place your hopper on top of that. It will then go back and forth. If you want more room behind you, you can push this back even more. But go ahead and place just 3 ladders like this. That way you can get out of here. Make sure all those levers are flicked off. And you want to put at least 2 shears inside of each dispenser. So we'll put 2 shears there, and we'll put 2 shears here. I'm going to clear my inventory, and now I'm going to show you how to use this farm. I'm going to go all the way back to where we started, and I want to be directly behind the levers. I don't want to be on the same block as them, so I want to be right behind them. I want to flick this lever, then this lever, and then this lever. I want to wait about 30 seconds, but you can wait a little bit longer if you'd like. Do not wait 5 seconds, do not wait 10 seconds, wait at least 30 seconds. Once you waited around 30 seconds, go ahead and leave your world, and then once you leave, leave, go ahead and go right back in. Once you join back inside of your world, do not touch the levers. All you have to do is walk up to where your sheep were, and then everything will be done. If you go in front of your build right here, you are going to notice that all your sheep are sheared, and if we go in the minecart, we're going to notice there is a bunch of wool inside of the minecart. Now, all you have to do is place 2 chests right here, and if you ever want more storage, you could just fill this whole thing in with chests. As you can see, when you expand this to the maximum storage, it gives you a lot of bang for your buck. You guys can repeat this process over and over again. There is no limit to this farm. You will have to wait until the sheep eat the grass and get more wool, otherwise it's just not going to be able to shear them. Let's build this easy villager breeder farm for Minecraft Bedrock 1.21. This farm can easily breed up to 8 villagers in just 5 minutes. Once a villager gets created, it will automatically join a minecart for departure. Before we get started, make sure to prep an area of 9 by 13 blocks and 6 blocks tall. You'll also want to ensure that you're at least 150 blocks away from any village. If you're building this for an iron farm or raid farm, you'll want to be 150 blocks away from those two. These are the materials you will need before we get started. Alright everyone, once you have your materials, we're going to go to the bottom left corner of our build. If you don't have the dimensions, it's 13 blocks going this way, and it's 9 blocks going this way. So if you don't have it, you can go back in the beginning of the video, and it shows you right there. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We'll place a block over there. Go up diagonal by 4 blocks. So there's 1, there's 2, there's 3, and then the 4th one we have to go to the top, just like this. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you have them connecting like that. The next thing you want to do is place a block here, place 1 more above it. Go ahead and do the same thing to the right of it, just like that. Take your trapdoor, put it right here. Oh, right there. Wasn't working for a second. Make sure it's right in the middle. Doesn't matter if you flicked it up, flicked it down, as long as it's right there. Go ahead and go right here. We'll place 4 more trapdoors, 2 at the bottom, just like this. We can flick those up. If you're on mobile, this might be tricky, but you're gonna want to shift essentially like this, and then place them like that. So once you do that, you could just flick it up, but make sure you shift, and then you just want to kind of place it right there, I would say. So right there, and then you flick it up just like that. Place 2 blocks right here, and then 1 block here, another block there, and then 1 last block right there. You don't want to place a block there. Instead, we want to grab our dispenser, not a dropper. Understand that droppers and dispensers look very similar, so make sure you have a dispenser. We'll put the dispenser right here. We'll take a button on the right, place it right there. We can go ahead and hit it. Just for good measures, it is working. On top of these 2 blocks that we placed right here, we could take glass, so we'll place 1 glass there and 1 glass there. All right, we'll pause for a second. We'll do a little walk around the build. So far, so great. Pretty easy. You should be able to follow along so far, no problem. Coming back to the staircase, we're going to take our rails, placing 1 here, all the way up, trailing to the top. So there's 2, 3, 4, and 5. The only thing we need our rails left for is over here on the right. You're going to trail it all the way around right here, and then put a block there. Now, I will say that it's not required you do it exactly like this. I mean, it could go over there and it could go over to yonder. I would recommend that you either just keep it here, that way when the villagers get created, they go somewhere, or that you actually set a system up for that. So it's up to you. I'll let that be your decision. The next thing we're going to do is come to the back of our build right here, right behind where we've been placing. We're going to place a temporary block right here, and then we're going to come around, jump on this block, jump on that block, take a, almost said sticky piston, take a piston, place it right there, and then above the piston, go ahead and place a block. Oh, not in front of it. You have a piston, and then you have a block above it. And then go ahead and take a button and put it on the side of that piston. So when you push it, that should extend. And just to show you one more time, that's what we did. We placed a block and then a piston. And then before we remove that temporary block, go ahead and place another block there. Okay, we can remove that temporary block now. And then we're gonna bring this out by 2. So 1, 2. Do the same thing on the right. 1, 2 for a total of 5 across, and then we'll bring it out by 2 total. So 1, 2, and then just connect it like that. So just to show you, we have a 2x5 platform right there. The next thing we want to do is go back onto this block, and you'll notice that this is our stepping stone a lot for this project. We're going to come over here and we're going to extend this up by 1. So we'll go 1, 2, and we'll just do that all the way, and 1 and 2. Perfect. The next thing you want to do is put a block here, put a block here, and here, and then right there, and then just do it all the way around one final time for 3 total, just like that. We'll take our glass blocks, we'll place 1 here, and we'll place one here. And then that gets rid of all of our glass for this video. We can go ahead and place a stone brick here and a stone brick here. Okay? Or I'm not stone brick, your block of choice. My apologies. Okay, so this is what you should have so far. We're not going to take fall damage. I was about to jump off, but I was like, nah. This is everything so far. So far, so great. If you're confused, you can always go back and watch it again. Remember that? And there would also be a Discord server link in the description. So if you have any questions, feel free to join and I can answer them. Okay, so this is what we have so far. You can place 4 blocks right here. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Mind you, it's not required to have these 4 blocks. I just would recommend it, okay? It technically can function without it. The next thing you want to do is come to the top over here and grab your water bucket. The next thing you want to do is come to the side right here, open one of these. I'm going to open the bottom one and then place a water bucket right there, okay? Doesn't matter if you're facing this way or that way. Place your water bucket and then it'll automatically go over here to the corner. This is going to help for our baby villagers. Alright, so before we move on, make sure your build looks exactly like mine. I'm going to do a quick little walk around. You can pause, rewind the video if you need to. This is what the back looks like. It's a 2x5 platform. And just to remember, there is no blocks being placed right here. So this is a complete walk around. Make sure your build is correct. All right, let's move on. All right, so the next thing we need to do is get 2 villagers inside of this container. Now, I know it seems difficult, but it's actually quite easy. So what we're gonna do is pretend we're at a village, essentially, and you could either put villagers in a boat, and then you can manually take them on land. Yes, we have a boat on land, ladies and gentlemen. You could do that, or you could take a lead with the boat and pull it. Just be careful because it will snap if you pull too hard. If you're not a fan of either of those, you could just get a minecart and you could push it along just like that. A lot faster, but a little bit more resource heavy. And if you don't know how to get a villager inside of the boat, it's real simple. You place a villager or find one, right? Now, that's more naturally. Where are you? What the? So what we'll do is we'll just roll him over. That's it. There you go. And just like that, he's in there. Once you have your villager near your build, all you have to do is put it inside of a boat. Take a minecart, place it right here. It's okay if it falls off the tracks. Go inside the boat and then just do a really smooth back motion. Whoa, 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 whoa. Okay, yeah, just back it up just like that. And the minecart might move. Got stuck in my perspectives there. Oops. And then break the boat and boom. There he goes. He goes right in there. Push the minecart up like this. And then once he's up, all you have to do is just get it on the edge like that. Break the minecart, and then he'll just plop right in there. All you have to do is do that twice, and then you're done. Once you have your villagers in the containers, you can place 3 temporary blocks just like this. Break these 2. Go to the bottom of your build just like this. Take your dropper, not a dispenser, and place it just under this block like this, and it should go directly down into the villagers. The way that you know that it's going downwards is that there's no faces on either side, just like this. You can now go ahead and break that temporary block just like this. Take a lever and put it on top. You could also put it here on the side. It doesn't matter, and you will have to shift when you are putting the lever on there. Go ahead and put your food of choice in there. You can use bread, carrots, or potatoes. Don't flick the lever just yet. Come to the back side of our build just like this, and we want to place beds going all the way across. But before we do that, make sure that these are the only 2 villagers in proximity. So place 1 bed just like this and wait for green particles to appear on the bed, and then place the second bed. Wait for green particles to appear on that bed, and once those green particles appear, you can place 1 like this, 1 like this, and then your final one like this. Beneath the beds, you want to break these 2 blocks, so you'll break all of them underneath, and then you'll do the same thing, placing a bed like this all the way across, so we can just place for a total of 10 beds. If you're in survival, you can build the staircase down, but there's really no need as you can get your access point from the rail system. The last thing we can do is come in the front of our build here and go into the dispenser. You can place a couple of minecarts, and when the villagers are ready, you can just push that button, which will load a minecart right there, and it will automatically push it to the next one. Now, I know you want to push that lever, but before you do it, there is one very, very important thing. Go into your settings right here, come all the way down inside of the cheat section, and you want to make sure that mob griefing is turned on. If mob griefing is turned off, the villagers will not breed. So if mob griefing is set to false, or you turn it off in your settings, the villagers will not breed at all. Now, the only thing we have to do from here is go up to this lever and just flick it a couple times, maybe about 10-15 times size is good. After you flick the lever a couple times, the villagers will automatically exchange the food with each other, and just like that, oh my, we are already breeding. Sorry guys, I think we gotta censor that. That's okay. Once they're done breeding, you can just go over here and push this button, and out plops a child, and it will come over here. Then once the next villager comes out, it will automatically push the minecart. I'm gonna be showing you this easy creeper farm for your Minecraft Bedrock 1.21 world. You have all the storage system you're ever gonna need. Uses a really cool trident system. You get 2 tridents at one, and if you hold a looting sword, you get double the rates. You could choose to build all 7 layers if you'd like, but I'm gonna show you the takeaways from this farm, so that way you leave this video knowing how to expand it and whatnot. Everything's super simple. It doesn't use much, so make sure to leave a like and subscribe, and let's get into it. When picking a spot to build this, you just want to make sure you're 128 blocks away from any river. That's assuming you are inside of a biome. You also don't want to be right on the edge of an ocean. This is because drowns and stuff will interfere with it. If you're wondering if you can build it inside of an ocean, you can. Just make sure you're in the middle somewhere and you're 128 blocks as well away from the shore. So a general rule of thumb is you either want to be in the middle of the land or you want to be right in the middle of the ocean. All right, so go ahead and pick a spot you want to build from. So from right here, I'm going to go from the bottom to the top by 100 blocks. So we're going to just build all the way up until we built 100 blocks. Once you're up 100 blocks tall, you're going to want to place a water bucket on the side. That way you're able to go down to the bottom. And then once you're at the bottom, just make sure you trail all the way to the top with your ladders. You want this whole platform to be 5 by 4 blocks long. So right here, we're going to go 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 5. And then in front of us, we're going to go by 4. So that's 1, that's 2, that's 3, and that's 4. And then just fill this whole thing in. From the corner right here where your ladders are, we're going to go up by another 4. So that's 1, that's 2, that's 3, and that's 4. We're going to go across to the right by 5 again. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. We'll place another layer in front just like this. On the left side, we're going to count the 2, and we're going to go to 6. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. We'll do the same thing on the right side, and then we'll just connect it across like this. And on the right side right here, we want to place another 3. So 1, 2, 3. And one more time, 1, 2, 3. So you should have an empty 3 by 3 hole, and then you should have a filled 3 by 3 area. On the right side of our ladders, we're going to count 1, 2, 3, and then on the 4th block, we'll place 1, 2, 3. Do the same thing on the left side. Go back down to your bottom layer, place a torch here, and a torch here. My ladders are over here. We're going to look this way. Place 2 double chests and then 2 more sets in front of it for a total of 3. And then just place another row above those ones. Place hoppers here. Then place another 3 hoppers. That's 1, that's 2, and that's 3. That's how it should look. And this next part's pretty self-explanatory. Come up to the top, place 1, 2, 3 hoppers on those. And then just fill this whole thing in with hoppers. And obviously, you need to make sure these hoppers are connecting. So if you don't know how to do that, then relearn Minecraft, I guess. Place 2 pistons just like this. Look to the left. Place another 2 pistons just like that. Same thing. Just keep doing that in a circle. We'll look to the left again and place 2 more pistons. Now this is not like your normal trident killer, so we're not going to place an observer into the piston. Instead, we're going to place it away. We'll go all the way around and make sure all those observers are facing away. All right, once you place everything correctly, this is how it's going to look. These blocks easier were to make it easier on our eyes, but now I can break this block on the right and I can replace it over here on the left. So now everything will look more even and more smooth. I'll do the same thing on this side. I'll go ahead and break this block, and then I'll place a block here. You could also go ahead and place 3 more blocks here. Place 3 redstone dust right here, and place a lever just like this. Place 3 redstone dust over here as well, and you're going to just do this on all the back sides. Now you want to go inside of this thing and place a carpet here, here, and here. All right, we're now going to place 3 blocks here, on the right, and on the left.
Bananas in Minecraft.
In the front, we're going to place 3 glass, and we're going to make this a total of 9, so that's 3 by 3. On all of these blocks, we want to go up by a total of 20, and that's including the glass. All right, once you did all those blocks from the bottom glass right there to the top, that should be 20 blocks. We want to bring this out for a total of 8 blocks long. So right here, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. We'll do the same thing on this side, and then after you do that, just connect this whole thing across. Once you extended each side out by 8, this is how everything's going to look. You should have that 3 by 3 hole in the middle. On any edge, go ahead and place a temporary block, and then a permanent block, breaking the temporary block, and bring this out for a total of 4. So that's 1, 2, 3, and 4. And we're going to just do this across every side. All right, guys, once you wrap that around the whole side, you will notice you have 8 blocks over here. And on top of that, right here, this is going to be 4 blocks long. You now just want to place a temporary block there with the permanent block on top, break the temporary, and place an oak leaf on top. And you want to do this all the way around. Now, if you're curious, you can put any opaque block here. So you can put glass, you could tinted glass, or you could place leaves. Anything that a mob will not spawn on, you could put here. We're going to go in any corner, it doesn't matter. And we want to go on the second one. So this is 1, and this is 2. And we want to go up by 3. So 1, 2, and 3. And then we could break the 2 blocks below it. And we're going to bring this to the right and to the left by by 7 blocks. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. We'll do the same thing over here. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And then just fill this whole thing in exactly like I'm doing. And then just connect both sides across and fill the whole thing in with blocks. Each corner, go ahead and place a slab, and then every 2 blocks, place another slab. So 1, 2, slab. Make sure you place the last one right here in the middle. We want to make sure you do this a total of 9 times. So these are examples over here. They're not yet completed, but you're going to have 1 block gap in between, 7 by 7, a block gap, 7 by 7. They should be no more or no less than 2 blocks away from the leaves on each side. All right, once you did all 9, this is how it's going to look. Now we have to do the roof. So we're going to place a block here and a block here, break the block below it, and then just fill this in all on top of your build. Same thing you did on the bottom. It's going to be 7 by 7. And remember, you only want a 1 block gap away from the slab, and then just fill this entire thing in. All right, you probably watch other creeper videos, oh my old one, and you're like, I don't want to place buttons. You could either place buttons or trapdoors, up to you. We're going to place a trapdoor on the entire ceiling, except for the ones where there's a slab. This is how your trapdoor design should look. If you see a slab, don't place a trapdoor there. If you accidentally do, it's not the end of the world, but to save your time and resources, it's better off you don't. You are now going to copy this over to each side, but make sure you're still doing the 1 block gap in between. Once you have your roof on each platform, you want to make sure you have a coral fan, and you want to place them on the sides just like this. You're going to do that for all 9 as well. All right, guys, we're going to be in this fancy editor just for a second because it's easier for me to articulate what I'm about to say. So now you have that roof across all your platforms. You should have a total of 9, just like we have on the bottom, and all your trapdoors are below just like this, and you have the coral fans all on the edges. Now all you have to do is decide how many layers you would like to do. So just to show you, you can go for a total of 7 layers. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and this is your roof on the top. So at minimum, just make sure you build at least 2 layers, and at the maximum, you can go up to 7. Do not go more than 7, and do not go less than 2. You just quite literally build what you did on the bottom to the top and all the way up to the maximum. You need to build the actual roof, and the actual roof looks like this. It's exactly the same as what we did on the bottom, the same exact distancing apart. The only difference is there's slabs on the top. And the reason for that is if you have solid blocks, then mobs will spawn on top of it. So make the amount of layers that you would like, put the roof on top, and come back to the video when you are done. Once you did all that, you want to make sure that you have a big giant thing like this above your build, and I'm going to give you the dimensions, so hold on a second. This is going to be 7 blocks from the slabs, so if you pause right here, you can go ahead and count that. That's 7 blocks. And this entire thing can either be leaves, tinted glass, or slabs. Anything that a mob cannot spawn on. I did read up somewhere that if you use tinted glass, it tricks the game and gives you a bigger spawn rate. Please comment down if that is still correct. At the time of recording, I am still unsure, but if you don't want to use tinted glass, you don't have to. If you're curious about the dimensions of this, if we come from the edge of the slab right here, this whole thing is going to be 16 blocks. From there to there, that is 16 blocks. You want to make it 16 blocks each direction. You can go ahead and ignore this example, it's uneven. 16 blocks in each direction, just like that. Same for the corners, those are also going to be 16. The last thing we need to do is our water, so just copy what I do. Place 2 blocks there and a solid block there. Do this in all corners. Now drag your water all the way across to each corner just like this. We'll do the same thing on all sides, nothing changes. Lastly, all you have to do is place a water on this and then break the block. So just go around, place water, then break the block. Once you do that, your water will then be complete. Your build is now complete. Make sure that all the blocks at the top are not solid blocks, so if you're using slabs, it has to be slabs, not double slabs, etc. You will notice that all of your creepers will start spawning, and then they will start going down to the bottom. Make sure you throw your tridents on that carpet, and you also want to throw your second trident on that carpet. That is your trident killer. It should be working if you can hear both of those tridents going back and forth. You should be AFK in your farm right here. If you want to increase your rates, just make sure you hold a sword with the looting enchantment on it. Collect all of your XP. Just walk along the edges right here. When you want to collect your loot, just go to the bottom and open the chest, and your gunpowder will all be in those chests. But that is it, guys. You will get as many creepers as the game wants to give you. That is quite literally the truth. Let's build this incredible iron XP farm that can generate hundreds of XP instantly. This farm utilizes infestation and can be built in your Minecraft Bedrock 1.21 world within a couple of minutes. It requires close to no redstone and is extremely compact for beginners. Before we get started, these are the materials you will need. If you are curious about the build's dimensions and location, you can build this approximately anywhere, and it's 8 by 11 blocks and 6 blocks tall. All right, everyone. So once you figure out a build location, and you can build this essentially anywhere, it fits even in the smallest of areas. So I'm going to be building mine over here. You want to find out your build's direction. And what I mean by that is we simply just place a lever, and you want to see the direction that it's facing. So mine is facing towards this direction, which means when I do my horseshoe shape, I'm going to build it this way. Just to show you, I'm going to build it this way. But let's pretend my lever was facing this way. Then I would build the farm in this direction. Don't worry about right-clicking it. Just worry about where it's facing when you place it. So my lever is facing this way. We're gonna go one block to the left and then one more block to the left. We'll do the same thing on the right, one block to the right and one more block to the right. So you should have a 3-block gap in between. You can now break this lever. We want to make this 5 blocks long on both sides. So that's 1, that's 2, that's 3, that's 4, and that's 5. Same thing on this side, 5. So now you should have 5 on the left and 5 on the right. Going forward, place a button anywhere just to signal that this is the front of your build. Do not mess this part up, it's very important. I also want to emphasize you cannot use stone bricks and you cannot use cobblestone for the base of this build. Wherever the front of your build is, like I said, you place your button so you know where it is. You're going to place your walls just like this. We're going to go 1, 2, and 3. And then you want to place 3 trapdoors on these walls. So 1, there's 2, and there's 3. 1 block high of the trapdoor, you could just shift like this to show you I'm shifting, and then you could place 3 blocks just like that. Next up, on the right side, extend this by 2. So we're gonna go 1 and we're gonna go 2. So this should be a total of 7 blocks long. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Extend it 1 more to the right, just like this, and then fill it in the corner. And then simply just bring this out by 1 more block. And then you want to fill all this in with redstone except for these 2 blocks. So just like this. Take a comparator going into that redstone right here. So just like this. And then right click it to invert the redstone signal. Behind the comparator, place a lever. Once you flick the lever, you're going to notice that these are rapidly ticking. If they're rapidly ticking, then you did everything correct. If they're not, then you did everything wrong. You most likely just need to right click this to make sure that that torch at the end of the comparator is indeed turned on. One important thing with your trapdoors is you want to make sure when they flick up, they do not flick in this direction. So mine are wrong. We want to face them this way. So we're just going to break all of them and we're going to do that. And then when we flick them, they're getting flicked that way. You want them flicking in the direction where the front of your build is. So my front of the build is right here. What you want to do real quick on the left side, just like we did on the right side, fill this in with 2 blocks. So 1 and 2. Then on the back side here, just fill this in for 3 blocks. So 1, 2, and 3. Place a temporary block here. And on top of the temporary block, place a dispenser, then break the block below it. Take a repeater facing in the direction of the dispenser, just like this. Place a block behind the repeater with the redstone dust on top of it. Then diagonal up at the redstone dust, you just can shift and then place a block just like this behind it. To the right of that redstone dust, place 2 more blocks. So there's 1 and there's 2. We're going to break some of these blocks because we're running out of space. Place a redstone dust here and a redstone dust here with the lever over here. Nothing should happen when you're flicking this. Just leave it off for now. Place a block right here in front of the repeater, and do make sure that repeater is facing in this direction, the direction of the dispenser. But take that dispenser and face it up towards this dispenser, so up towards the sky. On top of the dispenser, you're going to want to shift and place a fireplace. It doesn't matter which direction you place it in, just place it. Place signs all around it, just like this. So your signs are going all the way around. And then waterlog the campfire so there's water inside it. On this bottom dispenser right here, put an empty bucket. You can just put 1, not 2. Just put 1 empty bucket. And then inside of this dispenser, place a flint and steel. Ideally, just fill this whole thing up with flint and steels, but for now, you can use 1. Just be mindful that's going to break eventually. All right, to complete this part of the redstone, just take an observer facing into this dispenser. So place a temporary block here. Look at the block. Place that observer. So the observer is going into this dispenser, and you can tell by looking at the arrow. The arrow is indeed facing the dispenser. And then just break the temporary block, and you could also see the face on this side. Now all you have to do is place a redstone dust right here, and then if you flick this lever, you're going to see that the water gets destroyed and the flint and steel does light the campfire. If we flick it again, just like this, it turns into water, and vice versa, it just acts as a switch. It does look a lot cooler if you use a button, because you could just press the button, and then you could press the button again to turn it off. As a T flip-flop, you could use whatever you want, it doesn't matter. But believe it or not, that is all of our redstone for the build. We are completely done. I'm gonna do a 360 around the build just so you could see everything and make sure that yours is exactly like mine. All right, so going 2 blocks to the right of the lever, we're gonna go 1, and 2. If you include this block, it's 3 over. You're gonna put a ladder here. We're gonna go up by 5. So that's 1, that's 2, that's 3, 4, and 5. And just connect your ladders all the way up to the top. On top of this block, place a slab. And then all around, we're gonna just place glass. So we're gonna place glass here. We could place glass here. We'll place a glass block here, here, and then just all the way around. You technically don't need anything in the corner, but it does look prettier if you do. So I'm gonna put glass there as well. You don't need anything here. You could leave that empty. And then just fill this whole thing in up to 4 blocks tall. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. And then just fill this whole thing in. Fill all that in. You don't need the corners, but I'm doing it anyway. And fill all that in. Then you just do this side, and then that is all of your glass. Make sure you put slabs on top of the glass as well. And then instead of placing a row of blocks here, we're just gonna place glass all the way across, just like this. All the way up to the top, and then slabs on those as well. So that's your glass, and it's going all the way around your build. You can use the ladders to go to the top of the slabs, and we're gonna go inside here real quick. That block we placed, you can break it real quick, and then you wanna place a row of water all the way across. So 1, 2, and 3, and now you can place that block back just like that. All right, what we want to do now is build our iron golem, but before we do that, we want to place a temporary block here and a glass pane in front of it. Now you could just build an iron golem like this. You might have to push it a little bit to the right, but you do want to place glass panes in the left corner and the right corner. That iron golem might be blocking that path, so you're gonna just have to push it. Right on the same line of the redstone, place 3 trap doors. There's 1, there's 2, and there's 3. Right click all those trap doors. Take your trident and shoot it right here, and then do it on each trap door for a total of 3 times. And then break all 3 of these. 1, 2, 3. Once you break all 3, they will land on top of those trapdoors down there. You want to make sure this works, right click it, and you should be hearing those tridents go up and down. If you're not hearing the tridents go up and down and they're just staying in place, then the trident killer is not working. So just do everything I did and it should be fine. All right, your farm is now complete. All you have to do is go to your iron golem and splash it with an infestation potion, which will last about 3 minutes. When you turn your farm on, your iron golem is going to get hurt by the campfire. Make sure you have an iron ingot. Every 40 seconds, you're going to want to right click the iron golem with an iron ingot to heal it. If you don't, then it's going to die. Turn the lever on over here, and then once you turn this lever on, your farm's gonna work. Just like this, you're gonna get a bunch of silverfish right off the bat. If I put myself in survival, I can just collect the XP by walking around the build, and I can walk over here and collect all the XP. Just be careful, because you might collect the trident on accident. We can climb up the ladders over here to heal our iron golem and restore it to maximum health. I would not recommend leaving the farm or going out of your world while the farm is running, because the tridents might disappear. If you do notice that your tridents disappear, it is most likely due to you collecting it. When you're collecting your XP, I would not go beyond this line of redstone right over here. So I would be AFK, you could collect all your XP. Any farther, you're probably gonna collect the trident on accident. That was farm number 9, and if you like that farm, then you're gonna love farm number 10, which is my Hero of the Village farm. We have ourselves a Hero of the Village raid iron farm. You guys requested it, and as promised, here it is. This is a 4-in-1 farm that works for Minecraft Bedrock 1.21. This farm was created in addition to my iron farm trade hall. So if you haven't watched the video, please do so before starting this tutorial. Once again, this is an add-on to my iron trade hall farm. Link will be in the description or the top right corner of the screen. Before getting started, these are the materials you will need. Alrighty everybody, let's build this awesome Hero of the Village farm. Just want to point out a couple things. If you haven't already built my trade hall, it's going to be in the description, pinned comment in top right corner of the screen. This is going to give you infinite iron and it's going to give you the ability to have a trade hall with all of your villagers. However, this is an addition to this farm. So now we have the Hero of the Village farm that you guys have been requesting. I want to point out one thing. This is a 4-in-1 farm, so you will get raids, you will get Hero of the Village, you have a trade hall, and you'll get iron, but this is not primarily a raid farm. So you will get the raid loot, but this is probably the best Minecraft Bedrock beginner raid Hero of the Village farm, if I'm being completely honest. It will only take you a couple minutes to get on top of this build once it's done, and you'll be flourishing with infinite Hero of the Village, and all your friends are gonna be like, how do you get all those discounts? You're gonna be like, well, I watch mine Mends. All right, guys, so once you have this built, like I said, go ahead and build it. It's my trade hall. You're gonna go to the right of your build, so the right-hand side, we're picking up where we left off. So on the right side, we're gonna trail all of our ladders going to the top, so that's 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 ladders on the right-hand side. Once you do that, you're gonna come up here just like so. You're gonna make these blocks go up by 9, so if you're in survival, you're gonna stack up like this, but since I'm in creative, I can do it a little bit easier for your vantage point. So going up 9, including this block, so we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. If you want to make the build aesthetically pleasing, you could do this on all sides, but you do not have to. On this other side over here, go ahead and bring this up by 9. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. All right, what we want to do is then drag this diagonally, and then do not break those corners. Just leave those filled in, just like that. And if you do it correctly, it should just trail all the way like so. You're then going to wrap a square around this, just like you did on the bottom, but we're doing it on the top. So we don't need to waste blocks like, you know, building all the sides up. And then make sure we're lined up. And if you're in survival, you're going to probably just do it this way. And then just like this, you'll wrap that across like so. All right, the next thing you want to do is fill this whole thing in with blocks. Fill it in with solid blocks of your choice. It can be cobblestone, stone bricks. I use stone bricks because they look better, but completely up to you what you want to use. All right, and once that is done, this is exactly how it will look. Now, like I said, if you want to fill these corners in like this, you can. It'll look aesthetically better. You know how on this channel we try to make things look pretty, so I'm gonna fill in the corners just to make it look symmetric. So yeah, this is how everything should look. From the right hand side right here, let's go ahead and go over 11 blocks. So that's including this one. So 1, 10, and 11. We'll mark that just like this. So that from this block to over there, that's 11 blocks in total. So then we're gonna go up 10, including this one. So 1, 2, 3, and 10, just like so. And then you're just gonna go 1 to the left. So just to show you right there, you're gonna go 1 block to the left like that. You can then go ahead and break these as you don't need them anymore. You're gonna break and go 1 block below and just mark it. You can do any block that you want. So I'm gonna use red concrete. You could use anything you want and mark that you have these 2 blocks. The next thing you want to do is copy these coordinates. So for me, this is -242, 583. So -242, 583. I'm just simply gonna copy it and then go over here and do the same thing. So we can paste those in chat and just like that. So once you copy those coordinates, just leave them somewhere, whether you have them on a piece of paper. I usually just put things in my Minecraft chat. It's easier for me. All right, I recommend placing like 2 glowstone just like that to light this up. If you don't have glowstone, place 2 solid blocks just like this, and then take 2 torches on this side and 2 torches on this side, and then you could put 2 more on the left and right. Glowstone would be better, so you could place 2 glowstone there. All right, next thing what we want to do is make this go up. So we're gonna just extend our ladders all the way to the top. You could use a water elevator, but I recommend making the ladder system as in a little bit from now, taking a villager like from the bottom to the top. We only need 1 villager up there. So by having these ladders, it's gonna make everything easier. All right, so this next part is very simple. We're simply gonna go from this block and we're gonna go up 150 blocks. So if we're at Y level 89, we wanna go to Y level 239 for a total of 150 blocks. So from this block and up, make it 150 blocks, okay? And literally, we're just gonna go all the way up to 239. There's no point in counting one by one, just a waste of time. You just wanna be at least 150 blocks high. You can go higher, but 150 would be recommended. All right, so now we are at Y level 239. That's what it looks like. So in survival, you're gonna need to also trail down with ladders. So that's what I'm gonna do. So from that block right there, not from this block, from that block up there is 150 blocks. All right, guys, so coming up to the top, this is gonna be the final part of the farm, so stay with me. Go ahead and place your leaves on top, just like this. Make sure it's leaves, not a solid block. Otherwise, when the raid triggers and then it ends instantly, mobs might spawn here, and that's gonna be a problem. Go ahead and bring this out by 2, so 1, 2, and then on the 4th one, place a solid block, so we have 1, 2, 3. In front of it, place another solid block, place a bed, and then break those 2 blocks below it. The easiest way to do this is on the side of those solid blocks. So we have the solid blocks, place a water bucket like this. That way you can get below it and then do what you need to do, and then you could just get rid of it, just like this. And then you could bring your leaves out by another 2. You don't have to place any leaves below the bed, but I would recommend you do, just to be safe. On the corners of each bed, place a leaf. So there's that, and then over here on this corner, place one right there. Do the same thing on this corner, just like that, and the same thing on that corner. Then go ahead and just fill all this in. On top of the bed, place a composter. Place a leaf right there next to the composter, and then just surround the composter. You're gonna have to shift while you do this. Surround the composter just like that in leaves, and then same thing right here. Place leaves there, place leaves there, place leaves there, and then place leaves there. Now, per my testing, you don't need to place anything here. However, I'm going to fill this in with leaves just because I want to play it safe. I don't want any issues, because if a Ravager does spawn in here, it's going to destroy everything. And on top of the composter, this is where your villager is going to go. So you can just surround it like this, and then like so. The easiest way to get your villager in here is taking a boat from the bottom and pulling it up with a lead on top of the ladders like this. And then you would just push the boat right here, and then you break the boat, and then you get your villager in there. And then for the roof, just close the villager in like so. You have to place another one there, and then just like that, that's how that should look. And you don't have to place anything here, and you don't have to place anything here, so leave that blank. Make sure in front of that bed right here that you place a leaf there, and on the diagonal blocks right here, so 1 there, and 1 there, and then 3 here. So 1, 2, and 3. You don't need to place anything here, and you don't need to place anything here, okay? Once that is done, you remember those things we marked down there, those 2 concrete blocks? You want to go to those coordinates, so I'm going to go ahead and TP to them, and then once you have those 2 marked, it will look just like this. To make it a little bit easier for you, here's the leaves right here. And then if we go to the left of it with 1, so let's just say we place a leaf here. So if we include this leaf, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then on the 10th would be our marker block, and to the left of it is our other marker block. And just to show you, if I were to go directly under this marker block right here, and then I were to just drop all the way down, I would be on this marker block right here, and then to the right would be my other marker block. And I'm actually going to break those two, so that's how this should look. You can actually extend this if you want, just so that way you have, something to stand on. Going over here now, go ahead and place your solid blocks going out this way by 7. So 1, 2, 6, and 7, not including this one, okay? So not including this. Do the same thing over here. You should be just shy of this over here, but not colliding with it. Do the same thing going in this direction. And then this one's actually going to be 2 layers, just like that. That's how it should look. 7, 7, 7, and 7. All right, once you do that, go ahead and place a block going on the left side right here. Place a block there, and then bring it out diagonal, just like this. And then you're going to match it all the way up like so. And then that's how that looks. Same thing over here. And then just like this. Like, this is insanely easy. It doesn't get easier than this. And then all you got to do is just fill this in. We're going to just fill all this in. All right. So that is how everything should look. Place 2 water buckets on the red, and then you'll notice that it doesn't quite make it to the edges. So then all you got to do is just break these blocks. That should be going out by 7. Now, one really important thing, when we're right here, what we want to do is just right here, you can place another leaf. So that way you can get up and down. You want to just extend your platform a little bit to the side. Doesn't matter how you do this, just a little bit to the side like this, and then a little bit in front right here. But the general idea is you just want enough platform to be able to stand right here and kind of shield yourself away from the mobs. You want to AFK roughly in this spot right here when I place those blocks, and also place a leaf there, and then probably there as well, but you need one there because you're going to stand right here just so their crossbows can't hit you. All right, at this point, this farm is complete. Let me show you how it works. Before I do though, please leave a like and subscribe. We spent a lot of time, testing this, making sure it works. Please subscribe and leave a like. It really helps the channel out a lot. You may just be one person, but one person goes a long way. So thank you. I really do appreciate it. All right, so to use this farm, fairly simple. So let's say you're done getting your iron and you want to start trading with your villagers, but you don't want to cure all of them. You want discounts on everything. So when you're ready for your discounts, you're going to come up here, come up on this block. You'll be in survival. You're going to drink your ominous bottle, and then you're going to get that effect. When the effect wears off, basically the raid's going to start. Unlike a raid farm, what's going to happen is mobs are going to spawn here and they're instantly going to die. This is over 60% faster than an average raid farm, if not a little bit faster than that. The purpose here is to end the raid as fast as possible. So put the game in easy mode. Don't put it in hard mode if you want the raid to be fast. And then what we're going to do is we're basically going to stand here. Just watch the effect's going to wear off. You can put it in hard mode. You're going to get more loot. There's going to be more waves of raids. All right, as you can see, one is spawning. Just stand behind right here and they'll never be able to shoot you. One important thing, guys, before this raid ends, you need to kill at least one of the mobs. This is why it's important. You get a bow, and preferably a bow that has power on it. But we just want to kill one of the mobs. So here's how we're going to do that. Ready? We just want to kill one of them. So as you can see, I killed one, and that's all I need to do. You just need to kill one. Once you kill one, when the raid ends, you're going to get Hero of the Village. If you don't kill one, very important, if you don't kill any of the mobs and you just let it go automatically, you're not going to get Hero of the Village effect, and basically your ominous bottle will be wasted, and then this is just a raid farm. We don't want that. Don't hate on me, hate on the game. This is just how it works. This is the first concept. So now we're going to just stand here. Don't stand too far over here in AFK. You're going to die. They're going to hit you with their arrows and crossbows. And just like that, look at that. We got Hero of the Village. So now we're going to go all the way down to the bottom. And once you're down here, you're going to be able to collect all this loot. So we could just go over here, collect all those emeralds. If you want totems or you want, more loot, put the game on hard mode. You're going to get totems. You're going to get a bunch more loot. But yeah, everything comes down here and you get it. And then we can just come in here into our farm and click on any one of our villagers. And you're going to notice that they're all discounted. So now we have a functional iron farm that gives us a bunch of iron. We have a trade hall that we can trade with. We don't have to turn them into zombies and do all that. The only thing we need to do is just go up there, start a raid. Super simple.
Tridents, one of the most beloved items in Minecraft. They serve a great purpose in our worlds, and they're most known for being used in trident killers. So today, I'll show you an easy beginner Trident Farm from Minecraft Bedrock 1.21, and it takes less than 30 minutes to build. These are the materials you will need.
All right, so the first thing we want to do is find ourselves an ocean. As you can see, we have one over here. You don't want to build this farm over any islands or over any land, and you also don't want to build it over any rivers. Once you find yourself an ocean, you're going to come up roughly 140 blocks above the water. So once you're roughly 140 blocks above the water, what we could do is build a 2x2 platform up here, just like this. Above that 2x2 platform, you could come up for 3 blocks and do another 2x2 platform above it. Break those 2 blocks in the middle, so there should be a 2-block gap, just like this. On the 2x2 above it, we could just turn it into a 4x4 platform, just like this. So you have the 2x2 platform below, and then you have the 4x4 platform up top. On the 4x4 platform, what you're going to do is place a piston here, place a piston there, place a piston there, and place a piston there. So this is exactly how it should look. You have 4 pistons going all the way across. Come to the right of this piston, go ahead and place your one and only staircase. We don't need to use them anymore. And then we'll place solid blocks on the other ones, just like this. So you have your staircase and then solid blocks on the side of those pistons. Above this staircase, go ahead and take your observer and have it facing towards the piston. So we have an observer going towards this piston, and we know because the arrow is facing this way. And we're going to just do that going all the way around. And once you have all 4 observers going into those pistons, and remember, they should be 1 block higher than the pistons, we're going to go ahead and take a lever right here on the side of this piston. It doesn't actually matter which one you do it. This is just going to be the front of your build. So in this case, I'm going to do it here. And to the right of that lever, you're going to go ahead and take a dispenser and face it towards you. So you have your lever on the side of the piston, 1 block up diagonal, you have a dispenser. To the left of the lever right here, we can go ahead and place a block. And then going all the way around, we're going to take our dispensers. So on this corner right here, we're going to place a block here and take the dispenser going into this observer. Go ahead and place a block here, take this dispenser going into this observer. And once all 3 dispensers are placed on this 4th block right here, take a repeater and have it going away from where the lever is pointing. So we have the lever here. We want the repeater to go over here, just like this. All right, and this should be the only dispenser that's facing towards you. All the other dispensers are going into the observers. All right, and once you did all of that, go ahead and place 4 blocks on all the pistons. So we have one there, one there, one there, and the last one right here. On the first piston we place right in front of it, break that corner block, and then you're going to place a temporary block right here on that lower platform. So you broke the corner right here, and then you're placing a block there, and then take 1 hopper there, and then your last hopper right here, and then go down below and break that temporary block, and below it you can place 2 chests just like this. So now you have your hopper going into that chest. We could just test it real quick. We'll throw a water bucket in there, and then we can see that it went right into that chest. The last thing you want to do is take your water bucket into the staircase right here, just to show you that is the staircase we placed. Go ahead and take that water bucket and place it right into that staircase, and then it should just flow like this. All right, and then we're going to go ahead and take our trident and throw it into the piston just like that. Doesn't matter which one you throw it into. You could throw it there, you could throw it there, as long as you throw it somewhere in there. And you could also enchant that trident with impaling. That will just speed it up a little bit faster. Go ahead and break this lever you placed, and then put a lever here, flick that lever down, and once you flick that lever down, you're going to hear a bunch of ticking stuff, and then it will just stop. And then once it stops, you know it's working. So if we flick it back up, we're going to see it all rotating, and it's going to be a really fast trident killer. And then once we flick it down, the machine stops. This trident killer is really fast, and that's what's going to help us with the rates in this farm. All right, and right above our build, go ahead and place 4 glass just like this. It looks aesthetically pleasing. You don't have to. You could place 4 solid blocks, but I mean, why wouldn't you want to be able to see in there? That's just my rational viewpoint. Go ahead and fill this all the way in for 2 blocks. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, all the way around. And then make sure to fill in 2 right here as well. All right, and above the observer, we have the 2 glass blocks. So we want to go all the way up to 20. So 1, 2, and then up to 20. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. You could choose to make all this glass as well, up to you. And then once you have those 2, you could just do that all the way around. So we could fill in all of these. We could fill in all of these, and it should be going up 20. So from this block to that top block, it's 20 blocks. All right, and once you have that all the way up for 20, it should look like this. And it looks a little bit weird when this whole thing isn't made out of glass. So for this tutorial, I'm just going to fill the front layer with glass because it's just bothering me, but you don't have to. And then that's how it would look with the glass. Okay, so this whole tunnel right here is going up 20 blocks, and you're not counting this block right here. Okay, from here to up there, you're counting 20. So 1, 2, all the way up to 20. Now would also be a good time to expand your platform down here. So I could just pull this out, totally optional. You don't have to if you don't want to. If you have an elytra, you won't really need to do this, but you could just bring this platform out here, and then you could even take a staircase up to here. But thankfully, we can just reach the lever if we're standing right down here. All right, and once you have all of that done, all the complicated stuff is complete. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna come to the top right here, and we're gonna bring this ring out by 1 more. So we have 1, and then we're gonna do it for a total of 2, and we'll just bring this all the way around like so. Connect this side, and then we'll just wrap it around. We have that first ring in there, and then that second ring, and this next part might be a little bit confusing, but it's really simple. So you have that first ring, that second ring, and then you're gonna make a third ring all the way up for 12. So we have 1, 2, 3. You're gonna go up for 4. You're gonna go up for 5, 6, 7, and and you're gonna go all the way to 12. So just to show you what I mean, inside we have that first one. So 1, 2, and then you're gonna go 3, 4, and you're gonna do this for 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. And you're gonna just keep wrapping all these around, and then you're gonna just keep wrapping all these around all the way up for 12. So you're gonna wrap this one around, you're gonna wrap that one around, and it's gonna go around the whole thing. All right, and once all that is done, it should look like this. It does look pretty cool. So if we go from the bottom right here, counting this first one, so we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. So you have 12 layers going up, including this one, okay? So don't go up 13 on accident. On this top layer right here, what you want to do is bring it out technically for 13. So you're going from 12 to 13, and then this is going to be 2 blocks high. So you have going 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and then this is going to go all the way around. We're just going to pull all the way around, and since I'm lazy, I'm just going to do it like this. There's never been no shame in just holding down right click, right? So you got that first layer around, and then we'll just do the second layer like this, and then we got that second layer complete, okay? So this is going up 12 times, and then on the 13th is just 2 glass blocks going up like this. So I'll just give you a little pan around right here. This is how everything should look, and then you have this tower, and it's going up like in a staggered staircase. Looks pretty cool. All right, so we're just about done. We're gonna come in here to the middle right here, and we're gonna take 2 spruce signs, or actually, why am I saying spruce? You can place any signs and place one there, place one there, place this one there, and place that one there. This is going to stop the water from going all the way to the bottom and ruining our flow down there. Then what we can do is come up here, take your water bucket, and you're going to take your water bucket starting on this glass going all the way around. So one there, one there, one there, one there, one there, and you're going to go all the way around just like that. So you might need to create an infinite water source nearby, depending how you want to get your water in here, but it's pretty easy. Just take your water all the way around, and if this is happening for you, you could just place another water bucket there, and then it'll fix it. Then we'll do the same thing on this side to finish it up, and then once we do all of that, we fix that layer right there. It should look just like this, connecting all the way to the bottom, and essentially the drown will come in here, they'll fall all the way through, and they'll go to the bottom. All right, and the final thing we want to do is build a roof. So come to any corner here and go up 11. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11, and then just trace this frame down below. So coming over here just like this, you can see that we're going to just match it up right here just like that. Hopefully you have good perception. So there we go. We'll line this one up, and we'll just do this all the way around. All right, so just to show you, it's going up 11 blocks. So from this block to that block, that's 11, and all of the corners are matched up, and then we built a frame around. Then on top of these blocks, go ahead and take your slabs and place them just like this. This is going to mob-proof the top, and then we could just come all the way around here, and by doing this, we're just mob-proofing the top, just going to make our rates a little bit better, and it's just easier for us. So now we have slabs all the way over there, and then you could go ahead and just break these right over here. That way it's not connected anymore, and then just fill all of this in with leaves. You could also fill it in with tinted glass, but leaves are a lot easier to get, and tinted glass is just going to be a little bit more resource heavy, so I would just use leaves, and leaves are technically still see-through anyway. Don't put normal glass up here, and don't put normal solid blocks, and then we'll just fill this whole thing in with leaves. All right, and once you completed your roof, go to any corner. So we're gonna go over here and come out by 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You're gonna do the same thing to the left of it right here. So going out by 6 on this corner as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then all we have to do is just connect this like this, and then it should look like that. Do that all the way around, and then once all of those are done, it should look like this, and then just connect them all the way across just like this. All right, and once we did that, just to show you, it's going out by 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and all directions going out by 6. Once you did all that, you want to take your slabs one more time and go all the way around, but you want to fill this whole thing in. So you want to fill it all of this with slabs. So just fill all this in with slabs. And when I say all of this in, do not fill anything up here. I'm just talking about all of this and then all of that around there. All right, and once all that is done, it should look just like this, and then your roof is complete. So pat yourself on the back, and your farm is now done. The way you're going to AFK on this farm is you're going to come down here. Preferably you should hold a looting 3 sword if you can. I find that going AFK right above that lever seems to be the best, but you could also just AFK right here. Now the farm by itself is already pretty quick, but if you want to expand it, you could put another one of these 1 block to the right. So you see right there, we go 1 block over, and then you could just build a whole other one to the right. I don't think you'll need to do that, not unless you want to try to get like 100 tridents in 1 hour. But if you do end up building that second part, you'll just AFK right in the middle. And when you hold that looting 3 sword, it basically applies to the trident and it doubles your loot. This is a 3-in-1 slime farm that requires 0 chunk mapping, and it works on Minecraft Bedrock 1.21. You'll be able to infinitely grow slime, snowballs, and organize them into their own containers. The machine will also automatically recycle its own pumpkins, so you don't need to constantly keep refilling it. Do make sure you pay attention to every detail in this video, as I will be breaking down each element so you can be successful in creating this. For the build's dimensions, it'll be 14 blocks high from any flat ground, so no digging required, and exactly 7 by 5 blocks. All this will be in the description, and make sure you have all these materials before getting started, which is also in the description. Alrighty, everybody. Hopefully you got all the dimensions sorted out and the materials that you need. Go ahead and pick a spot that you want to build this, and we can get started with the item sorter. Place a temporary block there, a block above it, and do the same thing on the other side. Go ahead and extend this out by 2. That way it's 2 across. Go ahead and take your repeaters and place them into the block. Go ahead and place 2 redstone torches, just like that. To the left of those repeaters above this block, place 2 redstone dust. Then you can go ahead and shift just like this, and then find the redstone dust outline just like that. You can place the block there. Now that we have like the star shape, we can go ahead and place 2 blocks there, and then 2 more blocks to the right, just like this. 4 redstone dust, just like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Take your 2 redstone comparators and place them this way. Take 2 hoppers going into those comparators, just like this. 2 temporary blocks below the hoppers, and then 2 more temporary blocks, just like this. Break those 2 blocks. Take a hopper going into that block, and a hopper going into that block, then break the temporary blocks. This is our item sorter. When there's enough items within that hopper, it'll shoot a strong enough signal to go all the way around, just like this, to then unlock the bottom hoppers, which is how we filter the item. Right in front of these hoppers right here, go ahead and place an auto crafter, just like this, or it's not an auto crafter, a crafter. 1, 2, just like that. And hey guys, quick little fix. Make sure that these are facing up. So not like this. You'll know they're facing up if you can see their face. On the left of the auto crafter right here, go ahead and place a barrel. And on the right auto crafter right here, go ahead and place a chest, and then another chest, just like this, to make it a double chest. This is gonna be where your slime balls go, and this is gonna be where your snowballs go. Go ahead and grab your magma block and your powdered snow, and place a magma block directly above the barrel, and then place a powdered snow directly above the magma block. And then place a glass adjacent to the magma block, and then 1 over here, and then 1 over here. And then if we go around just like this, we can place another 2 like that. Doesn't matter if the glass block is above the chest, we're still able to open it. Go ahead and take walls and place them on top of the glass, just like this. Do not extend your glass, but extend your walls all the way around that powdered snow. Place a temporary block on the side of that crafter right there. Take an observer, place it on top of the temporary block or on the side of it. Break the temporary block, then take another observer going into this crafter. You should have an arrow facing that way and an arrow facing this way. You'll then notice that the crafter is rapidly ticking. Go ahead and place a temporary block on top of one of these walls, just like this. You want to place 2 blocks just like this, so we'll break that temporary block. Place 2 just like this, and it's a 1 block gap. Do the same thing on this side, just like this. Same thing on that side, just like that. And then instead of doing it on this side, you'll just bring the top one over just like this. So you'll leave this one empty. You then want to go ahead and place a block there, and then a block here, and then break the block to the right. Take a hopper going into the block in front, redstone dust on top of it. To the left of it, a block just like this, then another redstone dust on top of that one. Then right here, trail this towards you, diagonal like that, and place another redstone dust on top of that one. Now from this block, we want to go diagonal down, just like this. So we're going to place a block there, place a block there, and we'll just go diagonal down just like that. But it's not in the same row or column of this block. And then place another block diagonal down at this one, just like that. Place a redstone dust right here, and then take a sticky piston and place it, and then it'll be facing the hopper. And remember that hopper right here, this is facing towards the wall, similar to what we did over here. So we'll place a block there, a block here, and then a block there. We'll break these 2, and then it looks just like this. So it's diagonal up at this block, but it's over 1. Take a redstone torch and place it here, and then you'll see that gets extended. Place a redstone torch here now. Go ahead and leave it like that for now. It doesn't matter. You want to trail this up diagonal by 1 more block. So just like this. On this block right here, place a redstone dust, and then a block on top of it to section this off. That way these aren't connecting. And then you could just place a block to the right of that redstone, and then take a repeater right here and face it into that block. Place a block now to the right of that repeater, and then right here, another redstone torch. You'll notice that this now creates a circuit. We then want to go on this side, so we're going to go all the way over here. Place a temporary block right here, and then a permanent block right here, and then break that temporary block. And then you're going to make another Mickey Mouse shape. So you have a block there, and then you do this just to make that shape, just like we did in the beginning. If you enjoy my content and want to support the channel, then consider becoming a member today. Members get access to exclusive maps, world downloads, and more. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Let's jump back into the video. And then you do want a redstone dust on this block right here, and then take a lever and place it right here where that repeater is, and then flick it down. All right, so now that we got the circuit complete, what we want to do is the pumpkin recycler. Go ahead and then stand on your hopper right here, and then place 1 dropper going up, 2 droppers like this, and then 1 more for a 3rd. Remember, these are droppers, not dispensers. Droppers are going up, and then place a temporary block here, and then a dropper going down directly into this hopper. And then actually, that's not a dropper. That's supposed to be a dispenser going down. So instead of a dropper right here, make sure it's a dispenser. Take your hopper into this dispenser just like that. Now go ahead and take a dispenser and just simply place it right there. And once you place that, you're gonna hear it tick. That's a good thing. This is going to be where you put your shears. And then go ahead and take your pumpkins. I'm gonna use a stack. And then in the top dropper right here, we can go ahead and put our carved pumpkins in there. I'm gonna put a stack, but you could put 15 14 or 20. I would recommend a minimum of 12. We can go ahead and test the system real quick by flicking that lever. Some's gonna go out because we don't have this machine completed yet. So we're just simply recycling them all the way around. Let's go ahead and seal this up now. So what we'll do is we'll place a block on top of the hopper, and then we'll place a block here, and we'll place a block there. So you should have 3 going up and 2 going to the right. Then go ahead and place a block here. And then actually, we can break this block real quick. Directly on top of that extended sticky piston right here, go ahead and place a block. Then you can fill this back in. And then coming down here, we'll place a block just like this. And then that should also be like a star shape. Directly on top of where your shears are, go ahead and place a block there as well. When you put your shears right here, make sure you put enough and you're constantly refilling them when they're running out of durability. You can also put them breaking on shears. And then the reason we placed the block here was just for a temporary block, and then place one to the right of that temporary block, and then break the block that was above the hopper originally, and then go ahead and place a block there, and then leave the block right here empty. Also right here, make sure there's no block here. Just leave this completely empty. Now we need to invert the signal. So just simply come over here, and then to invert it, all we do is place a redstone dust there, and that signal will get inverted. That got retracted, and it's facing that block. Coming back up to the top here, if you don't place the block there, you might have some problems. Now what we want to do is just build that AFK platform. The last thing you want to do is place 2 blocks here. So we'll place one there, and so we'll place one there. And you can place another just like this, and you can just scaffold all the way to the top. When you're in survival, you can get up and down. I would recommend doing this. Down here, you also want to make a platform. We'll just place 2 blocks there and 2 blocks there. All right, and now what we can do is flick that lever up and stand on this block over here, just like this. Place a snow block there, and then just keep doing this over and over again. Now, the amount of times is up to you. You know, you could do this 500 times. You could do it 100 times. And then once you flick that lever down, as you just saw, those snow golems go down with it. So it's kind of cool. You get a 2-in-1 trapdoor system. I would highly recommend that you stack as many of these as you can. The reason for that is you're going to get the most out of your oozing potions when you have as many snow golems as you can in this chamber. In this left hopper right here, go ahead and place 4 sticks just like this, and then place 10 snowballs in the left just like that. So we have 10. On the right side, we'll do the same thing. We'll take 4 sticks just like this, and then you only want 41 of these like this. All right, guys. And the final thing you want to do is place a rail with the minecart hopper on it, then break the rail and push the minecart hopper diagonal into the magma block. But ideally, want to get the minecart hopper just like this. You see how the minecart hopper is in the magma block? You want to push it into the corner right there. It takes a little bit of time. Be patient with it. Once the minecart hopper is relatively in the center, we can go back up at the top, and then we'll flick this lever down. And now we just splash all these with the oozing potion, and then we flick this trap door down, and then they all fall in here. Then once they die, they turn into slimes. Once those slimes die, they turn into more slimes, and then all those slimes are gonna die, and then we could open this barrel, and as you can see, we now have 6 slime blocks. And if you guys need infinite snow so you never run out, you could just do something like this. It's super simple. You get so much of it, and it'll all just go in there. Look at that, all that snow. Just a little system like this will be enough. Make sure your snow auto crafter right here has all these checked, so these ones just like that. If some of your items are spilling out on the sides, that is not the end of the world. That just means your minecart hopper is slightly in the wrong spot. Since this isn't really an AFK farm, it's not the end of the world. Please leave a like and subscribe. We're almost at 20,000 subscribers. It'd mean the world if we could hit it. I work really hard on this video, 9 hours to be exact. If you have any questions, jot it down in the comment section. You know I'll reply. Join the Discord server to become a part of an everlasting mini community. And as always, bye-bye.
I don't listen to the haters, man, I treat them like the enemy. Had a couple traitors, man, but now they know the penalty.